In need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website.
Hi, friends. Welcome into the firm of Harrison Meringue. We are on location today down at Montgomery Park for the PDXYZ Bridging the Generational and Equality Gap in Business. I can't see that far. Is that an L? Is it equity or equality?
Equity.
Equity.
Yeah.
Do I know the difference between those two words?
Probably not.
Definitely not. But I'm going to pretend that I do. And we'll call that a day for that. Hi, Danny. How are you?
Oh, I'm god awful.
You're god.
God. I am a basket of cats right now.
I was really excited to do this, and now I'm a little worried.
No. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It happens a couple times a year. It is what it is. I've mentioned it before on air. I've got a thing called BPPV. It's just ungodly vertigo.
You got the bubble guts?
I wish that was the case. Although I did throw up at the studio before I came here, so. We're just fighting some demons. I wish I had something cool, like, I went out and partied super hard last night. It's like, no, I woke up this way. That's what happened.
This isn't a repeat of day one. You know, I told that story again today.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to Josh, our engineer, and was like, the first time, Danny showed up and was absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
Hammered. Speaking of that, I did find a guy here who is pouring beer mosas from Backwoods Brewing.
Oh, there you go. Of course you would sniff that out.
I was very tempted. I didn't sniff it up.
Yeah.
Sniff it out. It sniffed me out.
No, you were like Pepe Le Pew, just kind of gliding through the air.
A little bit big.
Just
you
trying
smell
to find
so
it.
sexy.
That's quite a nose for a cat.
In my belly, baby.
I'm not gonna lie. The house cat with a good nose.
Are skunks kind of like cats?
I mean, they're cat adjacent.
They feel cat adjacent.
They're cat adjacent for sure.
Okay, I've slept on this. I feel a lot better. I'm okay being a cat.
See, Sprague and I were talking, because like I said, I stopped by the studio real quick, and we were like, old Harris wasn't thrilled about being a cat. He's like, I heard him talking snow leopard. What the hell is he thinking?
It's because I want to be cool, and they're so cool.
They are, but that's not what's happening.
And there's only like 3 of them that exist in the world now.
Yeah, they're super close to extinction, aren't they?
Yeah, I learned that in Planet Earth, but I learned that in Planet Earth like 15 years ago, so now I'm worried there's like 1.
They could be back.
They could be back. I hope so.
We're bringing them back.
They're so majestic.
Bringing them back.
There was a time, so when I worked in beer for a long time, we would sometimes like to ask people this question in interviews, and it was like a test to kind of see how you answer the question, obviously, but in a different sense. We would ask, if you were a style of beer, what kind of beer would you be? And a lot of people kind of mistook the question and would say, I'm an IPA because I like IPAs. And it was like, no, that's not the question. The question is what style of beer best describes you?
Yeah.
Okay? So for the longest time, I would always say, you know what? I'm a barrel-aged wild ale. Because it's kind of funky, it's kind of weird. Some people really like it, some don't, and I'm just kind of an intricate, weird, fun guy. And then I realized that was a complete lie, and I turned my answer into an ESB, which is an English Special Bitter, because I realized I'm just an old, bitter man that thinks I'm relevant.
I thought you were going to go with, like, Miller High Life or something.
No, I mean, that would be dope.
Right?
The champagne of garbage.
Yeah, right?
I'm the most awesome trash human you've met.
I mean, that's... That's pretty cat adjacent. What is the trash panda of beers?
The trash panda of beers is probably like a Genesee.
No idea.
Genesee is a cheap light beer from New York, Buffalo, I think.
See, look, I'm not a big beer guy.
I know you're not.
I'm not. Again, we brought this up so many times. I'm not anti-beer or anti-drinking. I mean, literally, the first show we ever did officially together, I was still feeling it from Vegas because it was a rough. But hey, I will say this: in my defense, I was there.
You were there. You were there.
I puked and rallied. That first segment was very rough.
Very rough.
It was very funny reading the text stream and the YouTube comments of like, wow, Danny sounds way better now. Them not knowing that I just launched my soul into the toilet.
I do love that we started this show on it's going to be a tall, tall task for me to be the most hungover person ever on one of our shows.
That's number
I don't
one.
know if I'll top that.
Number one, that's the only time I've ever been hungover on the show.
Because I don't get that drunk. I'm a steady Eddie. I drink the same amount every single day. It's called consistency.
See, the thing with me was, it wasn't that I drank. Anybody who's been at the golf tournament knows how much I can put down. It's a lot. It was the fact that it was that for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was you're 40, dog. You can do these one-offs. Like, you can have a day. You can have two. You can't have 4 days of Las Vegas-level drinking and partying and fun.
Right.
And feel normal.
Also, the alcohol thing, like, you're an intelligent human, but the alcohol thing, if you don't drink, you kind of are against the 8 ball, and you have no idea the tolerance, the hangover, your food schedule, your water schedule. Because, like, as a heavy drinker myself, I know when to eat. I know when to go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
I know when to drink water. But if you don't live in that world, you got to play catch-up, and it almost never works in your favor.
Yeah, we went to the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere, and then that was the early night, and I didn't get into bed until 4:30 that morning. So, but it was much-needed relief, and to be honest, I probably feel worse today than I did then.
I believe that,
because
man.
it's like if you've never had vertigo, I wasn't sure. There have been, I think, 2 shows I've had to not come in for. When Dusty and I were, it gets so debilitating I can't stand.
I know. I thought you were going to bail on me today.
No,
We're going to have Jake from State Farm sit in with us.
It was. I hesitate to say this on air. It was a dicey drive.
I'm sure.
Like, I have to. It turns into the most hyper-focused drive I've ever had. Like
the old one eye.
It's 10-2. And I have to keep my head super straight. I have to, like, check my mirrors all the time because I can't turn my head. Like, even like this, I want to turn my shoulder so I don't turn my head to look at you, because it's all about the angle of your head. Because if you don't know what this is, it's the PPVs. Like, you have crystals in your ears that give you your balance and your coordination.
Okay.
What ends up happening is, if you like lay down a certain way, if you've got what I've got, those crystals dislodge and they fall backwards and they fall out.
Okay.
And it throws your equilibrium into complete disarray. And so simply standing, like I look like a linebacker in the shower this morning washing my face. My feet are like more than shoulder width apart. Like I'm like in a stance, my knees bent. So like when I'm washing my face, I don't fall over.
Wow.
Like that's the level we were at to start the day. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it in. I'm like, well, we're on location. I
got no choice.
I'm like, I can't really leave him hanging. I got to try to gut this out. So I ordered a big fat breakfast to be delivered to the studio so I could get something in, because that's one thing that'll help is if you eat a kind of a heavy breakfast.
Like a hangover breakfast.
It's kind of the same thing. I had a little Eggs Benny delivered to the studio, and I was like, all right, I'm going to load up on just super carby, lot of just
D-tier Eggs Benedict.
Yep, just go for it and just like, hey man, let's make this happen. And then inject all of the caffeine and nicotine my body can handle to try to stabilize me, and then figure it out from there.
The fan text line 503-864-6326. Once again, we're live on location at Montgomery Park, just actually down the road from the station itself.
A whole mile.
For PDXYZ. You could have parked at the station and then walked over here.
It was probably the same distance. I had to go, there's like 3 overflow parking lots, and I had to go to the 3rd in the back corner, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Coming in on the fan text line, I don't know, man. Crawford had some pretty rough mornings. I got the brand man here. He knows all about that. If you don't know Alex Crawford, that guy produced a morning show and was in no way, shape, or form.
He wasn't there.
Mentally fit to wake up at 4 in the morning.
To be fair,
there were times that he just no-showed.
He'd like, nah. To be fair, we were all younger then.
True.
Like, it's a young man's game.
True.
Like, again, when I came back and did the show from Vegas, I did the show. Now, the first half hour was really, really rough.
I know, I was there.
Yeah, it was really bad. But after that, I was able to divide and conquer. You know,
Yeah.
I was able to do it, you know.
We survived. We power through. You know, another underrated thing about being on location right now is the headset that has the microphone attached to it. This is like the most relaxed I will ever be on the radio.
Dude, the headset hookup is so nice. You don't have to worry about where the mic's at. You don't have these squeaking in front of you. No squeaky arms.
We got to give a shout out to Jordan Schultze back at the studio.
Indeed.
Schultze, hello, my friend. How are you today?
What's going on, guys? I'm in a good mood. My Mariners have been rolling, so happy Schultze over here.
Broski, for those out there listening, for the great fans out there that know Schultze's affinity for the Seattle Mariners, I've been texting him unsolicited about the Mariners because I'm fully on board, bro. I'm fully on board.
So are you officially ditching your Guardians?
No. No, I'm still a Guardian fan, always and forever. But I am full bore on every Mariner game is a must-watch game now.
They've been fun, man.
It's the simple things.
It's a vibe.
I'm in. So, Oakley Dokley, well, we got a show for you today. Like I said, we are live at the PDXYZ down at Montgomery Park, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. Tons of cool speakers down here. We're going to try to sneak some guests on, see the best we can do, and just kind of have fun. So if you're coming down here, please swing by the booths, come say hi. We're also on YouTube, live on location, which is a fun thing. So shout out to all the hard people that made this happen today. What do we got going on? What do we got going on today? Well, there's grilled cheese.
We got football tonight.
We got football tonight.
My Raiders. This close to wearing my Genty jersey today.
You almost did it?
I almost did it.
Wait for week one.
Wait for week one.
What if Genty doesn't even play tonight? You know what I mean?
He's going to get some carries. I bet you would get 3 carries.
Let's see. There's a burner account. We were going to talk about this yesterday. We didn't get to it. So I'm going to ask Danny Meringue if he has a burner account. Did you see who could be here today?
Oh, yeah.
I desperately am going to go. I'm going to sick Dusty Mandalay Bay on trying to track this guy down. And we will talk about that all throughout the day because we're going to need him here desperately.
I would bet a substantial amount of money he is not stepping in front of a microphone. I would advise him not to step in front of a microphone.
I would agree as well. All right, we come back. We'll start this bad boy up with football. It's football tonight. This is the firm of Harrison Meringue, live on location, Montgomery Park, 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch, and now Window The Firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
10:16 here. We are live at the legendary Montgomery Park building, just down the road from the historic Fremont Bridge. 503-864-6326. That's the fan text line. She'll let you interact with us throughout the entire day. Shout out to the cats over on YouTube /1051 The Fan. Come down, say hi. Whether you're in the YouTube land, you're at PDXYZ, come by, say hi. We're always happy to see everybody.
You know, the YouTube feed is not helping you beat the allegations.
Of what?
Of the, well, not just that, but the, our headshots.
Dude, right? Look at this. I'm looking at this right now. You are a monster. You know, you're not like a fatty, but you are a monster compared to me right now. Is this really how it looks?
Yeah, it's how
Is this really how it looks?
Not, yeah.
Jake, I want you to stand over here. All right, this is Jake. He's our wonderful guy. And look at us. Does he look like a monster compared to me? See, he says not necessarily.
Just in every single photo, video,
Holy
everything
God.
else.
Holy God, dude.
Well, I'm like almost 6 inches taller and probably, 50 pounds heavier?
I'll tell you what, every time I think I'm a fatty, I'm just going to look at the two of us next to each other, and I'll feel a lot better about it. Again, not that you look like a fatty. You just look 4 times my size.
It's funny because everybody's like, when the photos came out, people were just like, "What's going on here?"
Right.
Were these taken separately?
The digital marketing managers had a little fun with this.
Like, oh, Danny's in charge of all the socials. Did he do something with this? I'm like, no, that's us taking a photo next to each other, and it's not like it's not like I'm in the foreground by 6 feet and you're behind me. We're shoulder to shoulder. It is what it is.
I also don't think it helped that I think I was leaning against the wall, like I was trying to be all casual in the picture, and you were just standing there. Back straight, militarized.
Yeah, well, it's how I do it, man. It is what it is.
It starts tonight. You know, we kind of chatted about this last week when it came to the Hall of Fame game, but I don't think any of us really cared. We were just all waiting to line up for our hot Trey Lance talks. But hey, football's here. Football's here for real. All 32 teams going to be playing this weekend. And 3 games tonight. I don't even know how I'm going to bounce around all these. Do you got TV programming tonight, or are you just going to watch Raiders?
There you go.
You just going to watch Raiders?
We were talking in the break. I almost wore my Genty jersey today. We're going to save it for week 1. But there's some very cool storylines. It's a bummer that it's preseason.
Yeah.
Because you've got Pete and Gino obviously going back to Seattle.
That's the big one today that everyone's talking about. I don't even think it's a local thing. I think it's more of just...
That's a national NFL story.
Yeah, anytime somebody goes back to where they came from.
Especially if they're winning a Super Bowl?
Yeah, going to 2. Should have handed the ball off. Any that kind of narrative. And, let's be real. Things at the end of Seattle with Pete weren't great. I mean, Pete won
They weren't Russell Wilson bad.
No, he won that battle.
Yeah.
He won that battle, which I think he deserved to win.
Mm-hmm.
But, at the end, I don't know if Pete was the wrong guy, because I think the team still kind of looks the same in the sense of win-loss record as when Pete was there. I think it was just kind of a time where now new leadership, new voice, move on to a new era. The Seahawks did kind of the copycat thing, and let's go hire a young hotshot assistant who we believe could take the next step, and that's the program that they're building. So, kudos to them for being kind and, not starting fights with Pete. But, yeah, I'm curious what the fans are going to react, do they cheer him, right? You don't boo Pete Carroll, right?
Oh, God, no. Dude, I was up in Seattle.
Unless Earl Thomas is in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I was up in Seattle for the Blazers-Clippers preseason game last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I love about doing that is, number one, going up to Climate Pledge because that building rules.
Gorgeous.
The second part of it is because it's preseason, I get to sit on the floor. I was one row back. And guess who I was one row behind?
Who?
The God. Pete Carroll. It took everything in me
to not say
to not go up to him and be like, "Thank you for everything. I love you. You were my favorite person. Remember that time when you did that thing and you won the titles, and I love you so much." It was like, but I couldn't also because there was a never-ending stream
of people,
of fans doing what I was going to do.
So then
he's king in that city.
You can attest that he is great. He's not great, but loved in that city.
No, but he's also great. He took every picture, signed every autograph, shook every. He is a. When you see like a politician that has the juice when they walk in a room. Have you ever been in a room with somebody just has the pull? Mm-hmm. He walks into a room, buddy, and it's all eyes on him. He's just got that gravitas, and he's got the respect, and he's so damn likable. they're going to give him a standing O.
Coming in on the fan text line, P15 Fife. I like to say Fife because it reminds me of the city outside of Seattle that I love to call Fife. If you boo Pete Carroll when he returns to Seattle, not only are you not a Seahawk fan, but you are a classic piece of S. He brought us everything we have. That's a great way to look at it, I think.
And it didn't end horribly.
No. As a bunch of other people are pointing out, whether it's on the YouTube chat or the fan text line, it's like it just ran its course. It's just sometimes that's what it is. Look, Andy Reid went to 4 straight NFC championships and a Super Bowl in Philly. And eventually they were just kind of like, hey, man, this isn't working.
Yeah.
It's time to move on. And it was good for both of them. They got Doug Peterson, won a title with Doug, won another one with Sirianni.
And then Andy went to Kansas City and did just
Kansas
fine.
City and became maybe the second greatest coach in the history of NFL. And more likable, so maybe I could sit here and argue that he's better than Belichick because I actually like him.
Sure. No, I mean, that's going to be the story of the night. And then in the football game itself, you've got Genty's debut. You've got Jalen Milroe.
I know. I heard the guys this morning, the boys in the morning. I heard them talking about that, and I think that's for tonight. We'll get to in a minute. I want to get to what you're most excited about through the weekend, like all the teams you want to watch and stuff.
I mean, I'm most excited about tonight because I want to watch Genty.
Yeah, and I think Milroe is going to be really fascinating.
Yeah, because
how does he look throwing the ball? Does checkdowns look good? I saw somebody. I was in the YouTube chat on the Dirt and Sprague show. I know I'm a sicko. I'm all about the YouTube chat.
You're just Brandon.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I was listening to them, and somebody posted in there that he throws a really nice floater ball, which is going to be hilarious in Seattle because that's kind of what Russ's dime was, that floater ball. But how's his checkdowns going to look? How is his across the middle in a window going to look like? I think that's the arm strength. I think that's what I want to see.
That's not the question.
But the accuracy.
Yeah, he's got an absolute howitzer attached to his shoulder. You just don't know where the hell it's going to go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, his ability to get the ball places, not a question. Getting it to the right place at the right time, that's the question. And I'm really interested to see kind of how that whole part of it shakes out because – he's a guy that's fighting for a roster spot, and it sounds like Darnold's not going to play at all tonight, so Milroe's going to get a ton of reps. That's obviously, I think, the big storyline for Seattle is like, okay, what do you have in Milroe? Because, the backup quarterback's always kind of the favored son, but that's Drew Lock right now. But does he show enough where you're like, well, maybe this is better for us because this is the path we need to go down because we're not really sure about our running game / offensive line, how good or great it's going to be, and having a mobile quarterback isn't exactly a bad thing because we saw Sam Darnold with the Jets when he didn't have an offensive line, and that man saw ghosts.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's same in Carolina, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's like lining up for the slaughterhouse. It's like, why when you put yourself in the line of fire, you're going to get shot.
Yeah, I think, also another aspect of this, Milroe was a great running quarterback at Alabama. Maybe not great, but has the tools to be able to. Would you say great?
Yeah, because was it the Wisconsin game that they just beat the hell out of them on the ground?
It was.
And he was a big factor in that. And he's not a run-first guy, but sometimes you might want him to be because he's so big, so strong, so athletic that you're like, you know what? Maybe use your legs a little more because the whole. I think we've maneuvered past the. We are no longer talking about the mobile quarterback.
Right.
Everyone's mobile.
Everyone's mobile to some extent.
Even Joe Burrow is mobile.
Yeah.
He's not unathletic.
There aren't many statues anymore.
There's no Peytons anymore.
No.
That's just
or Toms or anybody like that.
Those guys don't really exist anymore. Even the most statuesque quarterbacks still are out there running.
Yeah.
So
and with that, it's one thing to be able to run around in college. It's another to be able to do it in the NFL.
Yeah, because everybody's a freak on the edge.
Right, and everybody's faster. So I think for me, obviously the arm strength accuracy combo, I want to watch. I kind of want to watch him scramble around in the NFL.
Oh, no, extend some plays
and see what that looks like. Because you can do it in college, and this is no slight, especially playing in the SEC. Someone shouted out the LSU game from last year. It's exponentially slower in college than the NFL. That's what everyone says. The biggest wake-up moment when you get to the NFL is the speed of the game.
Yeah.
So I want to see how that translates when the play breaks down, when he has to extend, how those legs work.
Yeah, somebody brought this up on the text line. Could this be a Matt Flynn, Russell Wilson situation? Would be cool if he pops tonight. I don't think it's that because Russ, I think I want to say it was the first 2 weeks of training camp, everybody was like, oh, this dude is him.
Also,
there's something here.
Also, Matt Flynn was signed to be a starter with very few actual starts.
Yeah.
Like, he had a couple really great games, and Seattle was like, you know what, let's take a chance on this guy, and they gave him more money than they should have, yes.
Yeah, was it 440, I think is what it
Something
was?
like that, yeah. And
which back then was just an insane amount of money.
to where Sam Darnold has tape. He has a lot of starts in the NFL.
Yes,
Some are bad, and he had a great season last
Yes.
year. I don't think in any way, shape, or form. Milroe could go out there and look like Michael Vick, and I don't think he's starting over Sam Darnold.
Well, I mean, if he goes out there and looks like that. Like, look, if he goes out there and Russell Wilson's it, like...
I still think this team, because they want to run the ball, because they want to control the line of scrimmage, I still think Sam Darnold would start until the wheels potentially came off. I do not see in any way, shape, or form how a future in which Milroe starts over a healthy Sam Darnold.
I do, but...
Unless the season starts where week 6 and things are falling apart.
Now, see, I think they could if he went out there and had the Wilson-like camp. If he had a Russell Wilson-like camp. Because it's one of those things. Like, even then, it wasn't that Wilson was just better than Flynn. It was that he was better and everybody on the team knew it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't...
And Russ walks in as a 5-year college player, 4-year starter, and that leadership's already there.
From going from NC State up to Wisconsin, and then
playing in a Rose Bowl, lost to the Ducks. I still think there's some time on that clock. Not a Duck hater. I just remember that game vividly. Russell Wilson was pretty good in it. So he walks into the NFL already an adult, a 24-year-old with leadership power. I don't know if Milroe's there yet.
That's the thing is, like, but players know it. When you've got the juice, they know it, and you can't say no. It's like when a young guy finally comes in and takes somebody's job. They take their job because they took it. Mm-hmm. It's not given to them.
Right.
That's the thing. To your point, he has to take it. Mm-hmm. They're not just going to get.
Bryce Young was given the job.
Yes, like that's
and then taken away.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, a little give and take. But outside of the Milroe at all, I want to see how Genty looks.
I know.
Like yes, it's my team. Yes, it's my guy. Yes, it's the guy I wanted the Raiders to draft. I was so locked in on him. I was so thrilled when they got him. I want to see. Is he truly special? And then you're not going to see that in 3 carries.
Right.
But, like, in those, let's say he gets 3 to 5 carries. Can he pop one? Mm-hmm. Can he pop one and show that, hey, those inside zones, those are still there, and in the NFL, he can still hit those creases and be explosive and be a guy. But he's also a guy that I think that needs, like, 18 to 20 carries because he wears, even though he's short, Dusty talked about when Oregon played Boise State, he goes, that man has muscles on muscles on muscles. You can't pack more muscle on that frame. And he's the kind of guy who wears you down. That's what he did to Oregon. Mm-hmm. He sprung 3 big plays.
3 70-yard runs.
Later in the game. It's like, that's the thing. Is like he's very capable of getting you 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, 40. And it's like, oh, there it is. And I want to see, can he break a 10-plus yarder and push the sticks. And
also the speed thing. The linebackers are faster. The safeties are bigger. They can take you down to where in college you were able to kind of bulldoze some people.
And that's the thing is he was playing in a group of 5 conference, so not always playing the best. But against the best, he did put up numbers.
Yep.
So
take Oregon, for example. I picked Oregon to win the national championship last year, and after I saw the Boise State game, I was like, I don't know. And then I realized that I was just watching the guy that I would have voted for the Heisman Trophy.
Ding, ding,
Again,
ding,
there
ding.
you go. Guy I would have voted for the Heisman Trophy if I had a vote. Now he's in the NFL. Look, Heismans don't always translate to the NFL.
No, I mean the the Wankies and Charlie Wardens of the world, that are truly great college quarterbacks.
I mean Reggie, Tebow.
Well,
they were okay.
Reggie
in the
was
NFL.
good until he got hit on that flat pass.
Yep. And that was kind of it.
That video, the Nelly song, "Here Comes the Boom." That is. I was watching some TikTok of British dudes watching the NFL's hardest hits. Which, if you've never watched the mix that I'm talking about, you're just not a football fan. It has been around for a decade.
Yeah.
It's probably got like 3 billion views on YouTube. But they pause it when Reggie's feet are just up in the air, and they're like, "Damn!" Like, it was funny. They started going through and like, "Do you think they have CTE in football?" And
that's when they first started asking the question.
And I'm like, this is where it originated. What do you mean? Like, because they think about it in the term of soccer and headers, and I'm just
right.
Yeah, no, guys, this is where it started.
All right, so it'll be a fun one tonight. Seahawks and Raiders in Seattle as Pete Carroll returns. Some Jalen Milroe, some Ashton Genty action to see tonight. So tune into that. You can hear it right here on the Fan Sports Network following primetime at 5 o'clock. When we come back, we'll dive into, let's look at the rest of the schedule, what we're excited about for preseason. Who's the team outside of maybe the big ones that you want to see what they look like going into this first week of preseason? We'll do all that next, but first we'll toss it to Schultze with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on, the fan football officially back, at least preseason action anyways. 3 games on the slate for tonight. The Ravens hosting the Colts at 4 p.m. on NFL Network. Then the Eagles taking on the Bengals at 4:30. Most importantly, though, the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Las Vegas Raiders in the nightcap. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith returning to Lumen Field. Rookie Jalen Milroe expected to get most of the time under center for Seattle. Pregame getting going on 10:80 a.m. at 5 p.m. Kickoff at 7 on the Fan Network. And you can watch it on the NFL Network as well. Vegas is a 4.5-point favorite right now. In baseball, the Mariners going for the series sweep this afternoon after beating the White Sox 8-6 last night. Josh Naylor hitting another whammy right now. M's only 2 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. First pitch set for 1:10 p.m. today on Root Sports. And over to the world of golf, the opening round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship happening in Tennessee right now. Points leader Scotty Scheffler not getting going yet. He tees off at about 10:45. Akshay Bhatia, your leader, he's at 8 under, already finished up with his first round. Harry Hall and Justin Rose now tied for second. Hall off the course, Rose still on the 16th. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor. Saturday mornings at 9 on the Fan Sports Network, 105. The Firm of Harris and Lorraine on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, coming up here in the future, we'll talk a little more NFL action for you. We got grilled cheese going on, along with Web Gems at 11:45, like we always do. We are on location live here at Montgomery Park, the PDXYZ, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. We're very proud and honored to be joined by Boss Woolridge here, the only three-time leader of the Blue Angels. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Patrick. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have
I got
you.
3 chances to get it right.
3 chances to get it right.
That's why I was a 3-time leader.
Yeah, were you ever worried that after the first time they were kind of like, you know what, I'm kind of over this guy?
No. When they called me back, there were several different reasons why I was called back. One of them was political, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that the fella that I came back to relieve had been kind of screwed over, frankly. And then the next time I got called back was a kind of a failure in leadership, and they needed somebody to lead the team.
You were like old trusty.
Yeah. I was getting ready to retire. One of the things, there may be another 3-time leader, but there'll never be anybody as old as I was when I led the team the last time. I was 49. I'm out there doing all this high G stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, never get old.
Boss, people know the Blue Angels, but what is the process like, the selection and like your career before you become a Blue Angel?
Yeah. For the leader to be selected, you have to have commanded a squadron before. So that's usually somebody that's been in the Navy 18 years, right? For the wingmen, it's usually about an 8 or 9 year pilot with about at least 1,200 flight hours, and you have to apply. As you can imagine, it's a pretty sought after position anywhere on the Blues, so you have to apply. One of the neat things about the Blues is that we never selected pilots based on their flying skills. It was all about personality. We had to be able to get along with each other 300 days out of the year, so that was crucial. But so you talk about what was it like? You just had a normal Navy career doing your best, and then you get recommended by some good recommendations, and then there's a selection process.
On top of that, Boss is the call sign you got now. We were just talking a second ago. How does the call sign Boss come around, and what was your previous call sign, and kind of how did that come about?
Everybody that leads the team, and in the 80 years the team's been around, almost 80 years, I think we've had about 35 different bosses, right? When you come to the Blue Angels, you get selected to lead, you come in with your old fleet call sign, and you immediately become boss, because that's how everybody in that squadron addresses you. It's a term of respect and friendship, and you just become boss. And I loved it because it was better than my old call sign. My old call sign had to do with being called on the carpet a bunch of times, and when you shuffle your feet on the carpet in front of the commanding officer, that was called a rug dance. So they said, "You're going to be rug dance." I said, No. I want to be Atlas. So, I want to be
something
Maverick.
cool.
I want to do something cool. They said, "You don't like rug dance?" I said, "No." Okay, 6.
Perfect.
So now it's in my email address. I give up.
At what point in your flight career you were captain, correct? For a long time in the Navy.
I was promoted to captain during my tour at the Blue Angels.
What time? When do you decide the Blue Angels are the next step in your career? Is it like your love of flying, you want to keep going, or is it truly that big of a badge of honor? When did you decide in the Navy that you wanted to be in the Blue Angels?
I never, ever in my wildest imagination thought that I'd be in the Blue Angels, either as a wingman or as a leader. And it was just something that popped up, and I was encouraged from my fleet squadron, where I was the commander of the squadron. My junior officers encouraged me. I've been encouraged so many times to do stuff, right, that I didn't think I could do. So you get that from people around you, and it's just tremendous. And so I applied, and never thought I'd get it. And when I was selected to lead the team, the people that manage your career in the Pentagon, the fellow that was managing my career said, "You got to turn down those orders, that selection to the Blues, because we want you to stay on track for flag," meaning Admiral General type of thing, Admiral from the Navy. And so I said, "You want me to turn down this job that's going to let me fly for at least 2 more years
for a desk job,
or something?" And and I thought, it kind of immature. You know, a lot of my decisions have been lacking maturity. So I was rug dance anyway.
Yeah.
I thought, there's been thousands of admirals, and I respect tremendously, because that's a hard path to go. But not very many Blue Angel flight leaders, and maybe even after leading the Blues, maybe there's a chance, right?
Hey.
So I selected the Blues.
Yeah.
And it became just a part of my career. And after that, I went and commanded a base in California. It did really well, but it was just another leadership opportunity.
Hey, rug dance is better than wall-to-wall counseling. The verbal versus the physical is always a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right, this one's a personal one for you. Blue Angels, you're flying F-18s.
Right.
Is that your favorite airframe?
My favorite airplane?
Yeah.
If I had to go up against some bad guys, yes.
Okay.
If I just wanted to go fly and rip around the skies, it would be the A4.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, a little tiny, small cockpit. Used to, get rub my arms on the cockpit rails because it was so small. But I could dogfight, underpowered, but I could dogfight because of the way you could position the nose. And so I had 2 tours teaching air-to-air tactics or dogfighting to American forces and allies, teaching them how to beat the bad guys. So we would do bad guy tactics. But that airplane, oh my gosh, so much fun. So much fun. Just a little I called it a tinker toy, practically. So that was my favorite, the A4.
Nice. Boss Woolridge joining us here live at PDXYZ, the only 3-time leader of the Blues Angel. Boss, I'll ask you, what brings you to Portland, and what are you going to talk about here at the event?
I live here.
Oh, you live here?
I live in Beaverton.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Not too many military members in Oregon these days.
No, they're not, but I love it. I've lived here in Oregon, in Portland area, for 20 years. That's longer than I've lived any place in my life. So it must have an impact on me.
Yeah.
It does. It's beautiful. Just a beautiful place to live.
What are some of your favorite things to do in town? Where do you like to go?
Oh,
You and the friends go out and grab a beer or something. Where you head? You can free pub somewhere.
I want to sit on my back deck with my wife and just relax, because I'm on the road so much. Like last week, I was in Kennedy Space Center presenting the movie we made last year, and then the week before, I was in the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. presenting the movie, and also I did a keynote in Coeur d'Alene. I mean, I'm just kind of all over the place. So, and I get to see a lot of great things, right? And there are a lot of great things here in Portland, but when I come home, I want to sit and relax.
You just brought up the movie, the Blue Angels. You were talking off air. You're the executive producer on it. You work with Glenn Powell and J.J. Abrams. Kind of, what is the movie? What is it about? What was the vision that you guys had when you guys did that?
I thought about it about 5 years ago, because I'd been in a documentary in the 90s called Blue Angels Around the World Speed of Sound, made by Rob Stone. I called Rob about 5 years ago. I said, Rob, let's do another one. I wanted it to be part of a healing process in our country, because we're so divided, and there's nothing as healing as watching the Blue Angels fly.
It is something that brings us all together.
I mean, everything about the Blue Angels is all America, right? So Rob and I started, the coronavirus hit, slowed us way down, because people were very cautious about what they're going to do with their money, and it was going to take money. And then I found Kevin LaRosa, who did the aerial photographs, the cinematography for Top Gun Maverick. And Kevin said, what are you doing these days? I said, I'm trying to make a movie. He said, what's it about? I said, the Blue Angels. He said, I got just the guy for you, Glenn Powell, who was in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
He said, I'll get you in touch. So Glenn and I started talking, and Glenn said, I grew up with a Blue Angel poster in my bedroom. So I love what you guys do and what you want to do with this movie. I'll find somebody for you. And we found Bad Robot, who was owned by J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams loves aviation. Then we found IMAX, who loves the power that can be projected on a screen. And we talk about power. These F-18s are pretty amazing.
Pretty decent.
And so that's how it all got started. We got it out in IMAX theaters in May of 24. It stayed there about a week, and then Amazon grabbed it and said, we're putting it on Prime. So now it's on Prime in its full-length version. Last January, we made a shorter version for IMAX Museum.
Oh, okay.
Museum IMAX theaters. And so that's where I was in Smithsonian and in Kennedy Space Center.
Well, thanks, Boss, for joining us. I hope you have a great time here. It's nice to do an event at home, huh?
This is really cool. That really is. I usually am in the airport for a couple hours. My longest time today was getting through the tunnel. The 26.
Yeah, I got to get you to pull some strings and get him in a backseat of a fighter
you
here. I
would love it.
We probably feel some G's.
Oh,
Yeah.
you need to get blacked out from something other than alcohol.
You'll see blacking out in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Navy would let us keep it in there, but there's training in the centrifuge. You'll
Yeah.
love it. There's all kinds of great stuff in that movie.
Well, boss, anytime you're free, you're more than welcome to join us on this
Thank
show.
you. Yeah. My pleasure.
Anytime.
Thanks for
Pleasure
what
to
you
have
guys
you.
do.
Boss Woolridge sitting in with us, the only 3-time leader of the Blue Angels. He'll speak today at the PDXYZ. So come on down, check that out. Absolute fantastic. Thank you, sir. When we come back, we'll dive into a little more NFL. We'll keep this thing going right here on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan.
He's back. Damian Lillard is Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, that was Boss Woolridge. Danny, this has been a short career for me so far. That was pretty great. I'm not the biggest military guy in the sense that I don't understand a lot of it. Like, I'm sure you two could talk for 3 hours.
Oh, we were talking before we came over here, and we were just diving into stuff. And I was just like, okay, this is going to be fun.
A lot of it is just kind of pure ignorance and inexperience in it. That guy was awesome.
Yeah.
I would talk to that dude for hours.
That's like, we were talking about this just off air a second ago. There's a level of leadership in the military that when it's good, it's great. And when a guy is being called back to such a prestigious appointment 3 times, that's a dude. Especially
when you're lacking leadership and your structural organization. I mean, we talk about this in sports. I feel like every day that sometimes you just go back to the well and you're like, look, boss is great. Go call Woolridge. He'll come in. He knows how to fly. Everybody loves him.
You want to make the parallel? It's the Raiders with Pete Carroll.
Yeah. We need somebody to come in and straighten things up.
Functional. This is what Dusty and I were talking about when they made the hire. Was it 4 or 5 months ago, whatever it was. I go, this is relevancy. This is structure. This is no longer being a laughing stock. And again, I don't expect them to go out and win a Super Bowl, but I expect them to be competent.
Yeah, something like the Browns could use, something the Giants can use, and that's what Boss gave. And when he sat down, I was telling you in the break. And for those of us that aren't watching on YouTube or aren't here right now, he had that, first of all, he just exerted cool.
Yeah, cool and calm.
Yep. But he would tell stories and he would, tap you briefly on your shoulder in this, super relatable, we are all on the same team, even-keeled kind of guy. And that's, man, I like that. I like that a lot. The YouTube chat doesn't think you should be standing up right now because you might knock things over.
Oh, come on now. I've been around some very,
6
very...
to midnight?
I've been around aircraft and insane pilots. One of my best friends, I think I mentioned this before, he's an F-22 pilot. That's like the crown jewel of the sky right now.
Yeah.
It's, there's only, probably, 50, 55 of those on the planet right now. If you want to have the most selective aircraft on the face of the planet, do you know what that is? It's the B-2 bomber.
Oh, really?
There are less B-2 pilots than there are astronauts.
Really?
Yes.
Is it just that difficult to fly?
It is a very... number one, you are taxed with carrying a live nuclear payload.
Yes, that's a lot.
So, also, you're flying a aircraft that has the capacity to level a nation.
Yeah.
And it has the radar cross-section of a bumblebee.
Wow.
So we don't actually fly them very often because we don't ever want the enemy to get more practice picking them up. And not to get into the politics at all. We went into Iran and leveled a nuclear facility, and they had no idea.
Right.
So I believe there's 16 or 17 B-2 pilots in total.
Wow.
So not only is it's not a difficult aircraft to fly in the sense of it's hard to control, but your sorties, your missions, they can go anywhere from 18 to 36 hours because usually you're taking off from somewhere continental U.S. and you're flying across the world. And we have them out of Missouri. We have them in Dio Garcia, which is an island in the Indian Ocean. We have multiple deployment points for them, and there's usually one of those or a buff, a B-52, in the air at any given time that has a payload capable of, setting the world back 1,000 years. And so, those guys, mentally, you have to be so unbelievably tough and fit. And physically, you have to be fit because being in the air that long and having that responsibility, it's very taxing.
I believe it. 503-864-6326. That is the fan text line or the YouTube chat. Let me know what you think. I'm going to ask this question, and then we'll go to break. Would Patrick sit in a cockpit in a fighter plane, or would he be a coward? We'll find out next. This is the firm of Harris Meringue. Stick around for hour number 2 on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. We've got a huge
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, week 1 of preseason football officially starting tonight. 3 games on the slate. First off, the Ravens hosting the Colts at 4 p.m. on NFL Network. Eagles hosting the Bengals at 4:30, but most importantly, of course, the Seahawks taking on the Las Vegas Raiders in the nightcap up in Lumen Field in Seattle. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith making the return for the first time as opponents. Rookie Jalen Milroe expected to get a lot of time under center. Probably not going to see Sam Darnold at all. Pre-game getting going on 1080 at 5 p.m. Kickoff at 7 p.m. on NFL Network and the Fan Network. Vegas a 4.5-point favorite right now. In baseball, the Mariners going for the series sweep this afternoon against the Chicago White Sox. They got the 8-6 win last night. Now just 2 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. First pitch this afternoon, 1:10 p.m. on Root Sports. And in the world of golf, you got the FedEx Championship happening right now over in Tennessee. Scotty Scheffler just teeing off about 15 minutes ago. Your leader, though, already done for the day. Akshay Bhatia at 8 under. Harry Hall and Justin Rose tied for second at 6 under, both off the course for their first round. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network. 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. The firm of Harris and Meringue. Not ambulance chasing, but plenty of rides in one.
From the hips down, man, it's a disaster.
The firm. Patrick Harris.
And someone crashed their car on the I-5 bridge.
Danny Meringue.
I've had some bad runs.
On the Fan Sports Network. 105.1 and 1080. The Fan.
All right, welcome into the second hour here, the firm of Harris and Meringue. We're live on location here at Montgomery Park, maybe the most famous building next to Big Pink in this town.
I didn't even know this building existed.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, when you say Montgomery Park, you know what I think of?
Montgomery Ward?
No, I think of a dog track.
Oh, really?
Montgomery Park sounds like a dog track.
Oh, man, dude. You missed it in the first hour. You can find that on the Fan Podcast at 1051thefan.com, the Odyssey app, wherever you get your podcasts. I see this building every single day that I come to work because I cross the historic Fremont Bridge.
Yeah,
and it's just this giant building over here.
I'm a West Sider.
Yeah.
And, you know, growing up in Beaverton, you don't, like, the trek to, like, Lloyd Center was always like, oh, dude. Like, when the Max got put in, it was like, man, we could skip school and go to Lloyd Center. It's so far away. It's like another universe when you grow up on the West Side.
Yeah.
Like, you just stay around the West Side. So I never really came down here all that much.
And if you came into town, you probably came through the Vista Ridge Tunnel, which is on the other side of this giant hill.
Yep.
So you don't see the building. Oh, interesting.
Like, we came down to 23rd every now and then. When you're under 21, 23rd doesn't really have kind of the, you know.
We live in such different worlds. It's like the other day when you were like, what is with the Terwilliger Curves? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last time I was on the Terwilliger Curves, I think I was headed south maybe
it boggles my
8
mind.
months ago.
Because there's no exits, and yet everybody comes to a stop. I'm like, what are we doing?
And I'm just like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, I went full Seinfeld. Like, what are with these curves?
But then
know?
you also don't know what Delta Park on I-5 North is like.
Yeah, I've done that a few times when I had some lacrosse tournaments when I first came back out here, and I was like, oh, cool, I want to wash my mouth out with a revolver. What is this?
Oh,
and people do this every day?
You don't experience the mass disappearance of all the cars when you get to the other side of the I-5 bridge. All of a sudden, there's no traffic.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Like the times that I go to Seattle, we go up to A or something like that. Like, you get across the bridge and it's like 80 miles an hour going, and you're just like, well, what the hell is the point of this? Like, I don't want to make it make sense.
Coming up this hour, we'll have Web Gems at 11:45. Is this the kind of coach you want to play for? We might get into some grilled cheese chatter as well. But speaking of grilled cheese, some breaking news coming across in the NFL landscape, and this is just brutal. Are you laughing because I called him grilled cheese?
Yes.
Well, it's mostly just because that was a Charger thing.
Yeah.
And the breaking news coming across, nothing really quite confirmed, but being reported. Who reported this?
Originally, Daniel Popper from The Athletic covers the Chargers. Popper's is about as good as it gets down there.
Rashawn Slater, the starting offensive tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers, a lot of hopes.
Who just got paid a truckload of money because he's really damn good. He has been carted off the field. And this does not sound like like last week there was a player who kind of rolled his
Justin
ankle.
Fields.
Yeah, Justin Fields. That's
stubbed
right.
his toe.
Stubbed his toe. That's what it was. And they're like, oh, they brought the cart out. Like, no, he walked to the sideline, and then because to get him back, they just threw him in the cart so he didn't have to walk on it. Like, that's all that happened. This, unfortunately, the tweet from Popper is cart is out, appears to be a left leg issue. He's being carted inside. If it's stopped there, you're like, maybe he's ACL sprain.
Yeah.
Like, okay. This is the line that always will. If you've played sports at like any level where injuries really happen, teammates all coming up to hug him.
That's not good.
Because
boss.
if you're in the NFL, if you're in the military, whatever it is, like we've all suffered the same injuries. A lot of us have. In my career field, all of us have shredded our ACLs. All of us have like torn up our back or neck or something along those lines. And like, when it happens.
Yeah.
You're just like, know what that is. Dap them up. Give love. When the teammates come over, that's never a good sign.
I'm going to say it. I'll be the quick and first hot take. Maybe not hot take, but overreaction. This really affects my belief in them this year. It really does. I hate to say it.
It gets worse. Popper just tweeted out as the medical cart reached the sideline, Slater threw his helmet in frustration.
Yep.
He knows it.
Yep.
He felt a pop.
It's
God
just
dang it,
in this
man.
world, we talked yesterday about Keenan Allen coming back to the Chargers, and it's like coming home and that familiarity and stuff like that. Losing your starting left tackle is just not how you want to start your season.
Especially one that good.
And
that's an all-pro caliber guy.
I have to imagine, if you're Herbert, can you just go to Harbaugh and be like, dude, can we call practice today? I don't want to do this today. I need a minute. I need to realize the severity of this. And Harbaugh's going to be like, shut up, loser.
Play football.
Get back in there.
I'm a football guy.
This dramatically affects my view on the Chargers. I had them in the playoffs. I think there's an outside chance they could win that division. As stacked as that division is, remember, they all have to play each other twice. It's not just like, but the Chargers have to play the Raiders and the Broncos and the Chiefs twice. They all have to do that. So I think the Chargers had a chance to win this division. I thought, the Broncos were a little more of an outside, but still a chance. Put Raiders 4, no offense. They're just not there yet.
No, it's fine.
And the Chiefs obviously are the queen of the ball. This really hurts that. I don't even know if the Chargers are a playoff team.
If he's out for
that might be an overreaction.
No, I mean, if he's out for the season, man, this isn't just losing an offense. Like, attrition in the NFL is like outside of talent is the number one deciding factor. And if you're going into the season without one of your best players in general, and he's also the anchor of your offensive line, like he got that money because he's that good. This isn't like a run-of-the-mill replacement level tackle.
Right.
This is an all-pro caliber tackle who's just an absolute dude. And if you're going into the season, he's out, minimum 12 weeks. At that point in time, it's basically the season.
Yeah.
You suffer the injury now. And here's the whole thing about, this is why you don't play preseason. Stuff happens in practice, man. Like,
this is just practice.
It's the game. The game is violent and stuff happens. And yes, you want to minimize it, but you have to play. You have to do something so that your body gets ready. And unfortunately, because of the physical nature of this game, this stuff can happen to literally anybody.
Yeah, especially when you're a man of his size, a man of his athletic ability. Athletic ability and that size are not really a combination that should work.
No, and that's why he's
level.
So different, because he's so freaking big.
And that's why it's so impressive, offensive line in the NFL. It might be one of the most impressive athletic abilities of all the major sports. You could be built like Bryce Harper and play baseball, and I look at you and I go, yeah, that makes sense. But to be an offensive lineman, to be that big and that athletic is just kind of not how you were supposed to be built.
6'5", 320, and move like that.
And you run a faster 40 than I do.
Yeah, I mean, last year...
most people run a faster 40 than I do.
What was it? He had a torn pec.
Yeah.
And it's
2 years ago, you said?
2024. So it was week 4. Again, early in the season. It was like... And that was what kind of led to the Chargers having so many issues. The interior of their offensive line was beat up, but also he's dealing with a pec issue. And it's like... It's, it sucks because even though the game is, 22 players, there are certain positions on the field, however unglamorous or inglamorous they are, as an offensive lineman, they are so integral and so important to what you want to do, especially a Harbaugh team.
Mm-hmm.
A Harbaugh team is not going to get cute.
No, they're grind.
They're going to punch you in the face, and that's how they want to play. And Slater, being a guy who's 6'4", 6'5", 320, is exactly that guy. He's going to beat the crap out of you. That's what he does. And now, not only are you losing his talent, his leadership, his IQ, his feel, his fundamentals, all those things, you're losing the attitude. And yes, it's always next guy up, and that's what Harbaugh was saying in the press conference and all that kind of stuff. He'll do it publicly. Behind the scenes, I'm sure he's heartbroken.
Oh, I'm sure.
But publicly, he's probably going to do, hey, it's next man up. This is the football life. He's going to do all the platitudes and all the things that come along with it. But that's a tone setter, man. And that's the thing that's hard to replace. And that when you look at that, you're just like, I was listening to Joel Klatt, and he was doing his preseason top 25, his own preseason top 25. And he was talking about Arizona State. I think he had him like 18 or 17. And he goes, it's not because I don't think they have talent. Like, Sam Levitt is a great quarterback. He's going to be a Heisman candidate. Tyson's one of the best running backs in the country, or wide receivers in the country. But he's like, Cam Scatterbo was second in the nation in touches and yards from scrimmage. But it's not just the tangible production, it's his attitude. You remember the clips of him on the sideline in the college football playoff, taking oxygen, just laying his body out on, like, they rally around who he is, what he is, the ethos of him. Slater's that kind of guy for them on that offensive line where he's so big, so strong, so physical. He epitomizes what Harbaugh wants to do on that side of the ball. And it's not just replacing his production and his skill, it's replacing the ethos. And I think that's the thing that hurts them even more than even the skill stuff.
Yeah. 503-864-6326. Let us know, how does this affect your outlook on the Chargers, Justin Herbert, on this big year of high expectations for them, yours truly included. I thought they were going to be absolutely fantastic. This massively affects my view on the Chargers. Also, I'm curious, does this send you to a whole new outlook on how you approach this preseason game on Monday? I'll bet you throw your new left tackle in, he plays a considerable amount of snaps, and Herbert, guess what? We might have sat you that entire game. You're playing. I think you have to, right?
No,
live game action?
No, because you don't.
You're too scared to lose the backup?
I don't think you want to throw Herbert out there a ton while trying to break in somebody else out there.
So break in the new left tackle with the backup. Who's the backup in LA?
I couldn't tell you.
Who's the backup in the Chargers? Let me know. When we come back, we'll stick with some more football live here at PDXYZ, bringing the generational and equity gap in business down here at Montgomery Park in downtown Portland. Come say hi. Other than that, we'll be back. A little more NFL preseason talk on 105.1 The Fan.
Seahawks football is on The Fan. FM and 1080 AM.
Lot to get to still here, live from PDXYZ, bridging the generational and equity gap in business, live down here at Montgomery Park.
Bridge your gap.
Bridge my gap. I'll show you. Lots still to get to. We'll have Web Gems here in a half hour. Maybe we'll get a little grilled cheese chatter in, some Bo Nix stuff maybe as well. If you missed Boss Woolridge, that's just the highlight of my day. I can't get over that. That was such a wonderful conversation.
You getting some brownie points doesn't hurt.
I know. Yeah. What do you mean?
You text the wife?
I text my wife who's in England right now, and I was like, I just interviewed Boss Woolridge, and it was the coolest thing in my entire life. And she goes, I actually know who that is. So if she knows who that is, that means the man sitting across from her, her father, knows who that is, and I'm getting massive brownie points right now.
It's helpful.
So that was really cool. Also ran into Paul from Great Notion. You know, they sponsor the pregame for us, so you got to see him as well. There are a lot of people down here, so come check it out. A bunch of keynote speakers. Adam Carolla will be here as well. It's getting lively down here now.
Yeah, no, Dusty and I, we did this event last year, and we had Stephanie, who was the VP of People, I believe, for the Golden Knights.
I want to be VP of People.
I think that's what it was. It was either people or branding. I can't remember, but she's doing market strategy for the 49ers now.
Oh, we've talked about this person before.
She said, she was like, I want to do this. Like, she wanted to hop on, and I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But turns out she's a dude of dudes. Just the coolest ever. She went to Iowa, so she got down with the boys. You know what I mean? Like, she, if you don't go to Iowa and not be able to put them down, she was just again, now she's with the 49ers.
Right.
You're kind of picking up what she's putting down. And I think that's what's something that's really cool about here is you meet people that you don't really know, and then you get to know them. And you're like, oh, this person rules. I see why you're down here as a keynote speaker and being a part of this. You're awesome. And PDXYZ does a great job bringing in all their guests and all their speakers and all the booths and all the businesses and everything that just kind of comes out of all of this. It's I'm not a big networking conference guy outside of the NBA world.
I always want to, but I'm not important enough to do it.
That's
nobody cares who I am.
That's the thing is when I first started going to Summer League, I was so far down the pecking order, but I met what you have to get lucky.
Yeah.
My very first Summer League, I sat and watched a game with Kiki Vandeweghe.
That's awesome.
But this is back in the OG Summer League days when it was a lot more open, but you would have these opportunities. I chatted up Larry Bird. I almost pooped myself. Yeah, I mean,
I'm about to poop myself just thinking about it.
Dude, and he was so cool. But because the setting is so different, and I think it's the same thing here. Everybody's just kind of yes, it's a professional business conference with keynote speakers. But nobody's suited and booted in here. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not uptight. It's very free flowing and effortless, and it's a really, really cool atmosphere to have this kind of event in.
Yeah, they got free coffee. People are handing out. There's a little bit of booze running around right here. I think people are having a really great time, and so are we. So if you're free, come on down and check this out. Wrapping up some preseason talk. Is there any team this week specifically that you really want to see what they do? I mean, some of them are going to be pretty buttoned up, like the Chiefs. I don't think are really going to be worth watching. I don't think they're going to show you a whole lot this week in preseason. But to the conversation we had yesterday about how some teams are actually going with our starters are going to play a lot versus some who aren't playing at all. Is there anybody that you really want to see?
I mean, selfishly, Genty, but no matter what team he would have gone to.
Outside of your Raiders.
I'm going to say it has to do with the rookies.
Yeah.
It starts with Genty. It's Travis Hunter with the Jaguars. How many snaps does he get on each side of the ball? How much is he featured? Where does he line up? Those kind of things. Colston Loveland, the tight end, he's a guy I'm actually interested in. There are a lot of people that are very, very high on him, and I'm like, I think he's going to be good. But I can't remember what analyst was like. I think he could be like a Brock Bowers light, and I'm like, whoa. Let's chill on that. That guy just set the NFL rookie record for receptions for tight ends.
Whoa!
It's hey, maybe don't throw that on the guy, okay? And again, I think he's going to be good. I want to see Abdul Carter for the Giants because he has been an absolute terrorist in training camp. Every clip we've seen, he's just blowing up that offensive line.
Yep.
Now, that offensive line is not the best offensive line in football, but
it's still an offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah, so if you're that unstoppable.
It's not Minnesota at home on a Friday night.
Yeah, so let's see what that looks like. And then, corny enough, let's see what Shador has.
Sure.
They're all talking about how much he's going to play.
Sure.
So, and I'm not going to go out there and make a joke. I was a guy who I did not have Shador as a first or second round guy.
No.
I thought he was like a third round guy.
I didn't even like him really starting at Colorado.
But the hype around him, I was like, well, somebody's going to take him in the end of the first or beginning of the second.
The NFL loves that hype train.
And that was my thought process. But I never thought he was a first round guy. But he's not bad.
No. He is, at worst, he is a preseason NFL quarterback.
Sure.
At worst.
And then the flip side of that is, the other project that is going to start, the Colts, Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Richardson played that 1 year at Florida, and there's was it the Utah game where he leads them down the field and he just fires that thing into the corner on the run at the end of the game, and you're like, I get it.
The abilities are there.
I get it. He's enormous. He's incredibly athletic. He has a cannon for an arm. He can do stuff physically that, the best in the game. The Mahomes is the Burrows. Well, Allen, because he has those tools. But, the Mahomes is the Burrows that don't have that level of physical tool. I put Allen more in that because he's so big and so mobile. That's the thing. Is when you're that big and that strong, obviously because of how physical he is and how much of a physical anomaly he is. The Cam Newton comps got thrown around. I was like, let's chill.
Cam was pretty polished walking into the league.
He's also bigger.
Yeah.
Cam was
maybe
6'6",
not polished, but for a rookie, a lot more than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is Richardson just didn't have the time, and if you're out there and they're not sure whether it's you or Daniel Jones.
That is not a world I want to live in.
That's an indictment on you, man. And
as I'm applying for this job, if it's neck and neck with me and Daniel Jones, I'm stressed. I'm really stressed.
It's yeah, dog, which way do you want to go with this? So for me, it's the rookies. How do they look? Where do they get in? How do they fit in? Steelers-Jags is actually going to have my eyes on it because I want to see Derek Harmon, how he fits on the defensive line, because I imagine he's probably going to get some reps because now Cam Hayward's talking about he wants a new contract, so maybe he sits out a preseason game, so maybe Harmon gets some more reps in there. And obviously they're playing the Jaguars, so you're going to get Travis Hunter out there. There's a couple I don't care about these games, like Chiefs-Cardinals.
Don't care.
Is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to play?
I know. And look, the Cardinals seem to be this trendy thing that people want to pick. Talk to me in Week 10. Okay, I don't have an opinion about Arizona because I don't think they matter, and I'll see you in Week 10. Some of the stuff that I'm interested in, from a football contender perspective, I want to see the Bengals offense. I want to see it.
How much is Joe going to play?
How much is Joe going to play? I don't know. But I want to see, does this work? Does this strategy of playing a ton of snaps with Joe Burrow, a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, is this truly what they need to get going? So I'm fascinated by that from a more not X's and O's, but a more serious level of NFL preseason. The sicko in me is I want to see all 3 quarterbacks play for the New York Giants. I want to see Jameis for the fun and laughability. I want to see if Russ is getting better or worse. And I want to see Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You grabbed him in the first round. You traded up to get him, right?
Yep.
I want to see this. I don't expect him to be the starter on day 1. I don't expect that at all. But I want to see what he looks like.
It's kind of fitting. The last game of the week is Saints-Chargers, and does anybody care about that game?
Especially after today? Absolutely not.
It could be one of those things is it interesting? Is it more interesting for the Chargers now because of the injury and which way they go?
Did you hear Durden Sprague completely destroy Tyler Shuck this morning?
No.
It was awesome. They were like, this guy sucks. Yeah. When was this guy ever going to... The whole time I was like, Mad Duck fan there. But I was trying not to poke him.
Yeah. But the Saints, man, that's just such an abomination. We talk about the Browns and how bad they are. The Saints are probably the worst team in football.
Yes, and the Browns, at least, and for preseason conversation, like you said, have some watchability.
Yeah.
Due to the Shador situation. Also, I think Sunday's just rough in general. Miami, Chicago, I'm not really interested. I need to see both these teams come week 5, week 6.
I want to see
much
Chicago
there in preseason.
How much they play? How much they play the starters?
Yeah.
Not even just Caleb. That new look offensive line. Obviously, Loveland is there at tight end now. Those are the things that I want to see. Is like, okay, does the offensive line? Do they have push? Do they have a running game? The guys on the outside, do they look better? Like everything around Caleb Williams.
I have a question that I'm going to ask, and we'll go to break and come back with this. Also, I want to hear your thoughts because I might come at you with a weird take on this. 503-864-6326. Which quarterback is under more pressure? Jackson Dart or Cam Ward? My opinion might kind of surprise you. We'll do that next, sticking here in some football on 105.1 The Fan live at Montgomery Park. But first, we'll toss it over to our good boy Schultze with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, a big day in preseason football. It's officially back. The Seattle Seahawks hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a big night for Pete Carroll and Geno Smith returning to Lumen Field for the first time as opponents. Rookie Jalen Milroe expected to get most of the time under center for the Seahawks. Not expected to see Sam Darnold either. Pregame getting going on 1080 AM at 5 p.m. Kickoff set for 7 p.m. on the Fan Network. You can also watch it on NFL Network. Vegas, a 4.5-point favorite for that one. A couple other matchups to precede that one. 3 games total on the slate. The Ravens hosting the Colts. It's a 4 p.m. kick on NFL Network. The Eagles taking on the Bengals. That one is at 4:30. No national television there. In baseball, the Mariners going to go for the series sweep this afternoon. They beat the White Sox 8-6 last night. Josh Naylor, another whammy. 450 feet into the seats. They're actually only 2 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West right now. First pitch today set for 1:10 p.m. on Root Sports. And over in the world of golf, the opening round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship happening over in Tennessee right now. Your leaders so far today been Akshay Bhatia at 8 under. He's already off the course. Harry Hall and Justin Rose have both finished up as well. They're at 6 under. Scotty Scheffler, the FedEx points leader right now at 2 under through 3. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube. of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
We'll have Web Gems coming up here in about 15 minutes, as we do every single day at 11:45. Would you run through a brick wall for this, coach? We'll get to that in about 15 minutes. We're here live at Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ event here. It's getting a little livelier in the place now. We're meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of fun stuff. The brand man's down here. I just want to know if
the boss man's down here.
I just want to know if we're getting free food. Who's the boss man?
Paul.
Paul's the boss man?
Paul's at the headquarters, brother.
Oh, really?
Did you not know that?
Nope. I was just talking to a nice guy who's saying hi to us.
That's Jake's dad.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Paul is at Odyssey corporate, brother.
See, these are things that I need to be told. I am very glad that Dusty wandered somewhere else and Paul wandered somewhere else.
There you go. Yeah.
Jake's not paying attention.
Yep.
So we're good here. Patrick is absolved of all wrongdoings. This is why my wife is not allowed to go out of town. She is not allowed to go out of town, because if she does, I am left to my own devices, and I am very, very disruptive.
Yeah, Paul's the CMO of Odyssey.
Chief Managerial Officer.
Marketing officer.
Marketing, dang it. That was the easy low-hanging fruit.
He's one of the C-suite executives.
Dang, man. I literally just thought it was like some nice guy walking by. Hey, man, I love your show. I was like, dude in New York listens to my show?
That's why he's
brother.
listening to New York, dog.
Hell yeah, brother. I was like, Portland's awesome. This radio station's real cool.
He's also a USC guy. Yeah. So.
Well, there goes
there
that.
You go. Good job, bud.
Coming in on the YouTube chat, Harris is like Creed from The Office. I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor.
You're still coming around to being the office cat. Yep.
I got pretty good meows, too. It's because I talk to my cat.
Yep. Pat the cat.
I do talk to my cat a lot. Meow, kitty, meow, meow. There's a great South Park episode of Meow, kitty, meow, meow.
Oh, yeah.
Meow, kitty.
Meow, kitty.
Meow, meow. I asked this coming into break about who's got more pressure on themselves this year. I mean, we only got 2 first-round quarterbacks, correct? Is my mind working? It's just Jackson Dart and Cam Ward.
Is it?
Uh-oh.
God, I thought there was 3.
Uh-oh. I'm pretty sure there's only 2. Anyway, so I asked the question, who's got more pressure on them, Cam Ward or Jackson Dart? And I'll start right here. I think the answer is coming up next. I'm joking. I think the answer honestly is Jackson.
There's only 2.
Yeah,
right.
I think the answer is Jackson Dart. I do. I think Cam Ward is a number 1 pick. He's often overlooked because of the Shedeur situation.
Yeah.
But we also know that the Tennessee Titans are not going to be good in any way, shape, or form.
Well, neither the Giants.
Understood.
But it's also the market.
However, the market, yes. Also, I don't believe in Russell Wilson anymore.
No.
Jameis is a career backup now.
Sure.
And there are guys like Malik Neighbors, Carter. There are young guys on that team.
Sure.
Their future, if I were a betting man right now, I like their future more than Tennessee. But I think Jackson's got to make it happen. I think Cam's going to get a free pass for a couple years because that team is garbage. If Tennessee picked number 1 again, I wouldn't be shocked.
No, I wouldn't.
If the Giants picked number 1, I'd be a little surprised.
I wouldn't, because here's the thing. There's another part to this other than being New York and Tennessee, where the difference in markets certainly plays a factor. But the coaching staff in the front office in Tennessee aren't, not even on the hot seat, on charcoal. I mean, it's just in New York. If Daboll and Shane, if this goes off the rails, they're getting fired.
Oh, they'll clean house.
And that's the thing. It's so there's probably some more pressure on them to get. That's why you bring in Russ. That's why you have Jameis, and that's why you go, okay, now we're going to go take our guy, because then you can afford yourself maybe a couple of weeks before to allow Jackson Dart to get up. Because if let's say Jackson comes out in week 6,
okay.
That's kind of the line that I put for him. Like, if you want to put it at 5.5, I think it's hard to pick the over the under there. Week 5.5.
I think it is really too. I mean, what if Russ is what he was last year in Pittsburgh? Serviceable.
Does that save your job? No.
But unless Jackson Dart goes out there and wins 8 games, I don't know if that's saving your job either. I think those guys might be getting fired no matter what.
See, they could win 5-6 games and save their job if Jackson Dart looks like he's going to be a guy. And I'm not talking about being a top 5 quarterback. Let's say he's Baker Mayfield.
Rookie Baker Mayfield or current Baker Mayfield?
Let's say he's rookie Baker. We're like, you saw flashes.
Very, very much so.
Like, if you can, you have to be able to talk yourself into something in the future. Because the thing is, I think Daboll's a good coach. Shane, I'm not so sure he's a great general manager.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think Daboll's a good coach.
I think Malik Neighbors and Abdul Carter are duds when you draft. I don't think you're some brilliant guy.
No, they also went, Daniel Jones and
that is true.
Opted for him over Saquon. And
that is true.
And again, the second they signed Jones to that contract, I screamed to the high heavens, what the hell are you doing?
They chose one guy over the other, and both of them don't play for you.
And the one that you did choose to pay wasn't worth anywhere near that.
But I think that's why, that's why there's pressure on Jackson Dart, and maybe not him specifically, but I think the entity that is Jackson Dart. If I can get a little hippy dippy for a second,
I think there's some of that.
Dart is a higher pressure cooker situation than Cam Ward. Look, as long as Cam doesn't throw 60 interceptions next year, we're all going to give him a free pass.
Don't go out there and Bryce Young it.
Nope.
Don't go out.
And he won't.
No, and that's the thing. Is because all the things that Bryce had to overcome.
Don't Jamarcus it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Is I don't think Cam will. I don't expect him to put up crazy numbers because we talked about the infrastructure around him isn't incredible. It's not this spectacular team where he's like, oh, they're loaded with weapons. It's not like what we saw with Caleb. Right, when he came in, number 1 overall pick, and having weapons and having the opportunity and having everything else that goes along with that. In the shortcomings. And then you look at the end of the year and you looked at Caleb's numbers and you went, those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I also think...
But the expectation. So as we were talking about with Dart versus Ward's going to be afforded that leash because organizationally, they're just in a different spot, whereas the pressure cooker is up on the Giants, regardless of if it's Jackson Dart. Let's just say it's Cam Ward. Let's say the Giants took Cam Ward number 1. It would be the same pressure there for whatever quarterback is there because of the position the organization is in more than where the player was drafted.
I think it's fascinating you bring up Caleb Williams, too, in comparison of last year's number 1 overall to this year's number 1 overall. There's a lot more pressure on Caleb Williams last year than Cam Ward this year. And I'm separating the Chicago-Tennessee stuff. I'm talking about the player person themselves. Look, Caleb didn't come into this league the cleanest.
No, it was a lot of freestyle.
A lot of chatter, a lot of freestyle. He's showing a lot of character. Cam Ward is saying, look, practice was mid. He seems a lot more professional, buttoned up, to where Caleb seems a lot more emotional. And that was part of what we loved about him at Oklahoma and SC, was that's an emotional guy who you can read him on his face, to where Cam walks in and he's just kind of like, yeah, we're here for business, blah, blah, blah. So those two feel different despite both being number 1 picks.
Do you remember the clip of Shedeur and Cam Ward working out pre-draft?
I don't.
There was a clip, and Shedeur's talking about rapping, and Cam's like, "I'm going to be the number 1 overall pick, dude. I don't care. I don't care." Like Shedeur's like, "Oh, what about me, dog? What about?" And Cam's like, "I ain't worried about you."
Who are you again?
But it was like, it wasn't a shot so much as his mindset was already to, I'm going to be the number 1 overall pick. I'm going to be a great quarterback. I know I'm going to Tennessee. And I don't think they had those discussions yet. I don't think the Titans had told him that, we're taking you 1. But I think in his mind, he had already flipped that page. And he is doing – Cam Ward can be spicy. Post-game interviews, he'll talk a little he'll have some fun, and the way he plays, there's some freelance brilliance to him, like the stuff that he's capable of doing. The Washington State-Oregon game comes to mind where you see both the bad and the good. But there was stuff that he did in Miami where you're just like, bro, what was that? Like, that's incredible. But somehow, some way, when he projects himself forward in the NFL, it is very flatline. And there's something comfortable about that from your quarterback. It doesn't feel fake. You know what I mean? Like, if a guy like Caleb all of a sudden just started giving Belichickian answers,
that'd be weird.
I'd be like, nah, dog, that's not who you are. Like, you're a little different. Like, you march to the beat of your own drum. You kind of you can dial it back. It's like Russell Wilson when he does the code switching thing. It's like, we all know you are who you are. Stop trying to be this guy. Like, that's not.
But also stop trying to be the yo,
Yeah, it's
guy.
like, just be a nerd, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
you're just a dork who's really good at football, who's married to a super hot woman who's very successful. Like, be that guy. Like, be authentic. And I think for Cam's sake, it feels like he's being authentic.
God, I hope I'm wrong. I'm so hard on Cam Ward. I just, watching him at Wazoo and then seeing him at Miami, it's kind of like, oh, now you care, is what it felt like to me. And that's just my own bias. So that'll be interesting. We'll see. A lot of stuff coming in on that. We'll get to some of those answers on the other side. But next is Web Gems. We do it every single day at 11:45. Although we're already up against it. We come back. Would you run through a brick wall for this man? I think the answer is probably yes. That's Danny Marang. I'm Patrick Harris. We are live at Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan.
Prime time with Isaac and
son of a...
It's Web Gems,
What'd you do?
the firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 and 1080 The Fan.
All right, this is everybody's favorite Web Gems. You know, I say that kind of about everything, I think. I always think everybody's favorite is anything that I think is my favorite. And I'm just going to keep riding with it. We're live here at Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ event, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. It's lunchtime right now. And there's a bunch of food carts outside, and everybody's bringing in food, and it smells delicious. And
we've got some Hawaiian, we've got some shawarma, we've got some Mexican.
I think I saw burritos walking around. You know, me and Mexican food, we're like me and liquor. Smell it a mile away.
I'm definitely looking for some tacos.
I love Mexican food. I'm actually meeting a buddy afterwards, though. So, and if you know where I'm going, which you do, Danny,
indeed,
I'm going to be just fine.
You're going to be just fine.
I'm going to be just fine.
I'm bummed, man. I was supposed to go to a concert tonight, and I'm definitely not going.
Yeah, you
now.
just don't feel it.
I mean, I'm not going to risk that. I feel like 10 pounds of crap stuffed in a 5-pound bag. So, an arena filled with people blaring music. It's probably not. See, look at me. I'm being responsible.
Yeah,
I'm being an adult.
I'm proud of you. I'm going to ask a question and go completely off the grid here. Is that one of your sayings?
What?
I feel like a 5-pound bag of S and a 10-pound.
No, 10-pound bag of S and 10 pounds of S in a 5-pound bag, just stuffed in it.
Is that one of your go-to phrases?
It's one of
in your life.
It's one of the ones my dad.
Or is it a radio phrase?
No, it's one of the ones my dad gave me when I was a kid.
Okay, that just stuck with you. So I feel like I've heard that from you a lot.
No, I probably used it before.
All right. You know, we're still learning about each other.
You have your little colloquialisms that you pick up along the way. I had a chief in the Air Force. Shout out Chief Carrasco. He always used to say that when he retired, he wanted to be a Walmart greeter.
Why?
Because he just always had little just gems to drop on people, and he did.
Yeah.
And also, if you knew Chief Carrasco, he's a smaller guy, but his voice just had so much weight to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's the kind of person the second he says one word, you're like, you lean forward.
Like Boss Woolridge.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. Awesome. Different tones of voice. Boss was very calm. Now, Chief Carrasco, very calm, but there was a cut. There was a sharpness to his voice. But he always had some little gem. And had I been smart enough back then, I would have written so many of them down. Because they were just absolute bangers. They were great life advice, but they're also hilarious, and they were also always backhanded.
Always?
Always backhanded. It's the kind of thing like if you're walking into Walmart and he hits you with one of those, you'd be like, and you'd walk 10 feet, like, hey.
Wait a second. I'm gonna go punch. I can't go punch that old man.
Yeah, you can, because he's a little old man.
Something that came across that we've been laughing about for a while is Mike Vrabel, the new head coach at the New England Patriots. Wednesday's practice with the Washington Commanders, he jumped into a pile to break up a scrum and came out with a bloody cheek.
I mean,
how many coaches are jumping into a scrum?
Off the top of my head, Tomlin, Vrabel, Campbell, Harbaugh, both Harbaughs.
But I have this like view of Mike Vrabel, the linebacker, jumping into this pile and then tearing his rotator cuff.
Let's go down the list real quick of coaches that would jump in a pile. Raheem Morris, Harbaugh, McDermott's a maybe, Canales no, Ben Johnson no, Taylor no, Stefanski yes.
I think McDermott would get beat up. He looks too small.
Stefanski's definitely hopping in there. Campbell's hopping in there.
Dusty's looking at me like you are an idiot.
Yeah. D'Amico Ryan's definitely getting in there.
Faux show.
Andy Reid, hell no. Pete Carroll, hell no.
I want to see Andy Reid though.
Yeah, Harbaugh, hell yes. McVay, yes. McDaniel, no. KOC, that's an interesting one. Would Kevin O'Connell jump into a pile?
Pretty boy quarterback, no way.
Yeah, probably not. Vrabel's a hell yes. Kellen Moore, no. Dable, yes. Aaron Glenn, yes. Sirianni's kind of crazy, so I'll say yes on Sirianni.
Schottenheimer, hey guys, stop it.
Yeah, no, not a chance. Tomlin, yes. Shanahan.
Micah, get up, stop it.
Yeah. Shanahan?
Maybe. He also seems too pretty to get in a fight.
Yeah. Todd Bowles, yes. Brian Callahan, nah.
I've just been informed that Sean McDermott was a collegiate wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, he's getting in there.
Yeah, I said McDermott, didn't I?
I know you did, but I was like, no, he's too small.
Oh, yeah, no, McDermott, yeah. Dan Quinn, hell yes.
Dan Quinn, hell yeah.
So it's actually more than I thought. It's really just the old guys and the former quarterbacks. LaFleur, nah.
See, I don't know if I believe in the former quarterbacks. I don't think McVay would jump in a scrum. Or Shanahan.
I don't. I mean, McVay's pretty built, man.
I know.
He's also too pretty.
I know. That's what I mean.
He's
That's
a
what I
good-looking
mean.
guy. But you know what,
McDaniel, no way.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Matt LaFleur, no. Those guys are all too good looking.
But the thing about McVay, though, like maybe you go a little Statham here. You get a little scar.
Ooh.
Not a bad one, just a little scar.
A little sexy there.
Yeah, you know?
I really think it's the only guys that would do it are Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn, and Mike Vrabel.
Oh, D'Amico.
Oh, D'Amico.
Oh, and McDermott.
I don't know, but actually not surviving a scrum, but actually diving in.
Oh, yeah, no, Aaron Glenn?
No, Aaron Glenn's a good
Aaron
one.
Glenn's 100%
Aaron Glenn's
doing
a good
it.
one. Ben Johnson ain't doing squat.
No.
He's going to be like,
Sirianni's the one
someone
guy.
go in there and break that up.
Sirianni's the one little non-former psychopath NFL player coach who I think just because he's weird would put his nose in there.
Right. Does Sirianni just send his Italian bodyguard?
Oh, yeah. Oh, what's his name? Big Dom.
Big Dom?
Big Dom, yeah.
Just sends in Big Dom?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Is this like a big qualifier, a big need from you as a player, knowing your coach will dive in? Or is it just like the little bit of extra?
I'm biased because my coaches when I grew up would.
Yeah.
So my running back coach, Craig Schimmel, who's a assistant coach at Canby now with Jimmy Joyce, my former center. Shim was Naval Reserve.
Yeah.
And Shim's when I was in high school, he was still passing the presidential fitness exam. To bench, push-ups, mile run, all that kind of stuff. Incredible.
They should bring that back.
Oh, yeah. But he has a scar on his bicep where he had a tattoo removed. And it's like the OG days. But the lore around it was like, before when we got there as like freshmen, it was a chemical burn. But Shim was, jacked.
Yeah.
And then our defensive coordinator, Bob Boyer, he played in college. He was a psychopath. Brian Cassidy played at Stanford. Faustin Riley was an enormous dude back then. He, 6'3", 400 pounds. So we just had dudes. When I was coming up in high school, that's every one of our coaches was just a dude. And so you're just like, those guys are 100% sticking their nose in there. You know what I mean? Faustin had his kids. Kevin Riley played quarterback at Cal. That was a football family. Right. So I've always been brought up in the tough coach mindset. I didn't ever have one of the newer age. Don't get me wrong, they were very smart. They were very. The ingenuity was there on both sides of the ball, but it was we were physical. We were a tough team. That's always, and then going in the military, it was very much the same thing. The best leaders I ever had were guys that you knew they weren't just backline leaders.
Sure.
They were the ones at the tip of the spear.
They're going to jump in with you.
Yeah, and so for me, it's not a prerequisite, but I definitely think about you differently if you're not. Does that make sense?
Totally. Coming in on the fan text line, 503-864-6326. Can't miss TV would be Mike McDaniel jumping into the pile.
Yes, 100%.
I fully agree with that.
him jumping into the pile and then getting thrown like Jazz from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air back out of the pile.
McVay is a bitch. No chance he's got the balls. And Shanahan would send Robert Saleh, and I would be scared of Robert Saleh.
Oh, yeah. Robert Saleh.
That guy's got a scary look
back
to
up
him.
on that list? Yeah, for sure.
All right, we come back. We'll get into the final third hour. Stick with us. We are live from Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ conference going on down here. This is the firm of Harrison Meringue on Portland Sports Leader. Don't you forget it. 105.1 The Fan.
I'm Chelsea Messenger, helping you beat the books with the bet
Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, football officially back. Week 1 of preseason action involves your Seattle Seahawks getting going tonight, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders as the nightcap of a 3-game set on the schedule. Pete Carroll and Geno Smith returning to Lumen Field for the first time as opponents. Rookie Jalen Milroe expected to get a lot of time under center. Pre-game getting going on 1080 AM at 5 p.m. Kickoff at 7 p.m. right here on the Fan Network, and you can watch it on NFL Network as well. Vegas a 4.5-point favorite. Couple other games leading up to that. The Ravens hosting the Colts at 4 on NFL Network. Also, you got the Eagles taking on the Bengals at 4:30. Over to baseball, the Mariners just 2 games back of the Houston Astros for first place in the AL West. Going to go for the series sweep in just over an hour against the Chicago White Sox. Was a nice 8-6 win for them last night. First pitch, 1:10 p.m. You can catch it on Root Sports. And the opening round of the FedEx Championship happening over in Tennessee right now. Akshay Bhatia, the leader, 8 under, overall through the first round. Harry Hall moving up into a tie with Justin Rose for second at 6 under. Both of them off the course already for the day. FedEx points leader Scotty Scheffler, he is at 2 under through 5. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultz from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt and spray. Weekday morning 6 to 10 a.m. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. The firm of Harris and Meringue. Patrick Harris.
Look, Daniel, I do what I want.
Danny Meringue.
That is smelling your own farts.
Easy there. These are great pipes.
I'm not going to say agree to disagree, but I really don't like you right now.
The firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 and 1080. The Fan.
All right, our last hour of the day. We'll take you right up to 1 o'clock to Ducks Insider. Then we got the happy hour with Luke Anderson from 2 to 3, primetime 3 to 7. This is the firm. We are live at Montgomery Park, the legendary building that Danny didn't know existed until today, the Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. Look, there's a lot of people here. Some of the sales crew from Odyssey came down as well.
Well, there's booze.
There's booze, so you know they're here. Huh? Kurt's got a little cocktail over there. I can already see it. And there's free lunch out there. I just went to go get a Coca-Cola. And I was like, what do I owe you for this? And she looked at me like, nothing. I was like, no. Like, you don't have to give me a free soda. Like, I'll pay for the soda. She was like, no, that's the event. And I just slowly backed away like I was stealing something. It was really awkward.
I didn't know it was free.
It was really awkward. The food out there is free, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have people coming down like, oh, I'm at the event.
She asked me if I was part of the event, and I was like, I think so, and showed her my little badge.
I
and she
think
goes,
so.
Oh, yeah, there is a badge there.
She had to look down.
Damn it.
That happens.
Stick with us here for the last hour. We got a lot to get to today. We'll have closing arguments at 12:45 like we always do. Some news out of Tejas. We'll get to that at closing arguments. Plus, maybe we'll get to Mike Florio sniffing around in a lot of things lately. And you know the mantra of this show, if Mike Florio's snooping around, that ain't a good idea.
People you don't want to see coming. Baxter Holmes, Mike Florio, Pablo Torre. If they are calling about comment on something, call your lawyer.
You told me about the Baxter Holmes thing, which I didn't know about, and I was like, oh, God,
If Baxter Holmes is sniffing around, you have problems.
You have problems.
You have problems.
Dang. Do you think that's a tough life for him?
No.
You know, like, what if Baxter's just like a real chill dude, and he's like, I'm just going to go to PDXYZ today and say hi to some peeps, and someone goes, oh, my God, Baxter's here. Run. I quit my job. I am absolved. I am not a crook.
He's looking for Nico Harrison. Hey, Nico, you want to talk?
Get me out of here.
Yeah, I don't think Nico's making a ton of public appearances.
No, I don't think so. I do wish I could talk to him.
So does most of Dallas.
Well, see,
I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
See,
I just want to talk.
I think if you were to interview Nico, I think, first of all, before you go, you say, what's off limits?
No.
I would.
You're a coward.
I would, because I know what he's going to say. And then I think I would just talk to him about Cooper Flagg. You know what I really want to know? Cooper Flagg is maybe the closest NBA draftee that I would sign to a rookie max extension the day I drafted him.
Yeah. I mean,
nobody would ever do that, but I would ask Nico, like,
Wemby's also that guy.
Would you ever contemplate that?
Well, I mean, yes. Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because the bonus of being a rookie or having a rookie is that they are on cost-controlled cheap assets. But if you're talking about like what they can be and what they're actually worth, like Victor Wembanyama, if you've ever, there are two players in the modern era in the last 25 years, where I think three that you could say that about day one: Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Victor Wembanyama.
Number ones, undoubtedly, Victor, LeBron, and Tim Duncan. And now Cooper Flagg.
He's as close.
You're not ready to say Cooper yet?
Well, look, I mean, I am probably one of the people that's the highest on Cooper out there. Like, if he is not a first-team All-NBA guy in his career, to me it will be a surprise.
Yes.
I legitimately think he can be that good.
And I think it would be a surprise to me if he wasn't five-time. First-time.
Yeah. Like
first-team All-NBA.
And that's such a high bar, because the guys that have – if you make 5 first teams, you're in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's legitimately – you're saying before this guy has played a single second in the NBA, he's a Hall of Famer.
I just think the way he dribbles the ball, the way he shoots the ball, the way he plays with teammates, and the speed that he has is undeniable.
Well, you left out the most important thing, his defense.
Yeah.
He's a game-changing defender, while also being a plus offensive player.
Look, I was excited to watch him at Duke last year. I don't know why we're into this, but I'm super down because I love Cooper Flagg. I remember being super stoked to see him at Duke. And
that alone should tell you everything. You're excited to watch a player at Duke.
You know
what I mean?
I don't have any hatred. Look, my former boss at this station who hired me as a big Dookie, I'll give him a lot of credit for that. But very rarely am I stoked to see a freshman in college basketball. Usually they got to show it to me before I get excited about it. But I was pretty stoked to see Cooper Flagg at Duke as a freshman. And then the whisperings and, just superstars saying it out loud when he practiced with the Olympic team. When Kevin Durant came out and was like, that kid can play, I went like, huh?
I know about a half dozen GMs that were in the building and a couple coaches, and I talked to them after that, and they're like, there was a period for about 12 minutes where he was the best player on the floor. And you're talking about with LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, like the best players in the NBA. For a 12-minute period, he was the best player on the court.
I do think there might be a little bit in that situation of Cooper Flagg's probably trying a little harder than those guys are.
Well, the other side of that coin is you remember the back and forth between in the 92 Dream Team when Magic went at Mike.
Right.
And that was when Jordan took hold of the NBA. Like, it was already happening, the 91 finals, Blazers and everything that came out of that. But it hadn't taken hold of, like, no, this is Jordan's league now. And everybody took turns going at Mike, and Mike took all of their necks. Yeah, you get that many dudes in a room, they don't want to be embarrassed. You can talk about, well, they weren't taking this seriously. The second Cooper Flagg got that look on his face, those other guys were taking it seriously too, because they're not going to get punked by an 18-year-old.
By a 17-year-old.
So, excuse me, he was 17 then. You're right, because he didn't turn 18 until December. They were not going to let that happen. So that just lets you know just how much of a killer that dude is.
Dude. I'm so stoked. I've never in my entire life did I ever think I'd be stoked to watch Dallas Mavericks basketball. But I am.
I mean,
here I am.
I liked watching them when they had Luka.
Here I am. I was never a big Luka guy.
Wow,
yeah,
really?
Not hatred in any way.
You and Nico, huh?
Yeah.
Not big Luka guys.
Hey, buddy, take a seat right here, my friend. I'd love to talk to you about a few things.
I hate Luka too. Let's go ahead and dive into this.
No. I don't want to get it twisted. Please don't blow me up. No. I think Luka's fantastic, but he wasn't. Of all the guys in the NBA, he wasn't quite like my must-watch style. I know Sprague really loves him, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I think so.
Yeah. There are certain people that just have a huge affinity for him. And he's great. Don't get me wrong. But
Go on.
But
he's great.
But before all the crazy stuff that went down, I was more attracted to a Ja Morant than I was a Luka Doncic.
Sure, above the rim always has that attraction, which is why Ja's so marketable.
Yeah, and and I like watching Jason Tatum's game a lot more than Luka.
Oh, God, yeah, no, definitely not me.
And I know that I am the outlier in that Jason Tatum argument. Like, a lot of people don't think he's a superstar.
I think he's a superstar.
That BS conversation. But I would rather watch Jason Tatum than Luka Doncic.
You really are a weird cat.
I am.
Because aesthetically,
and Luka's great. I am not dumping on him in any way, shape, or form.
It's very interesting because aesthetically, there is not a great player in the league that I enjoy watching less than Jason Tatum.
Oh, see, funny, and I just think that's business operation.
Because every time he takes a jumper, it looks like somebody hit a factory reset mid shot, and it's like, why does that happen? Like, it's the least aesthetically pleasing jumper I think I've ever seen from a great player.
And I think it looks like someone that goes to work and just does his job.
Again, the greatness is certainly there, but I don't enjoy, which is why it's why he's always like 5th or 6th in like MVP voting, because aesthetically, it's just not there.
And I think that's what I like about it.
You just like
it's just not flashy.
You like to be the counterculture.
I guess I do.
Yeah,
I guess I do.
Yes.
I like Tatum a lot. I do. I hope he comes back, like fully healthy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
what if I was like, I hope he comes back? Danny's like, he's not dead.
Yes,
he's gonna come back.
He's not in the morgue. They'll figure it out.
I don't know, man. Achilles freaked me out.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, look, I made no bones
about it. It's like the new scariest injury of all time for me.
I mean,
if I blow an Achilles, dude, this is not going to go well.
When Dame went down, that was literally like, that was when I looked at my wife and said, I'm done playing basketball.
Yeah, I'm
like, if it happens to this guy who's in insane shape, what does that mean for me?
This
like,
fat ass is going to be in big trouble if my Achilles
Oh,
ruptures.
yeah. So I was like, golf. Golf. That's all we're doing now. Like, if
and then there's
golfer,
Danny on the 8th hole blowing his Achilles.
If I find out a golfer blows his Achilles just like walking the course, I'm like, great, what am I playing now? Am I playing shuffleboard?
I'm just going to be wheelchair bound for the rest of my life. I'm just going to roll myself around. That way I don't...
build up the upper body,
That way I don't have to worry
Get
about
the little
blowing
baby
Achilles.
legs.
No Achilles, no ACL for this guy. Then I'll slip in the shower and do it anyway. All right, we come back. I'm going to ask Danny a very, very important question. Do you have a burner account? We'll get to that next. This is The Firm of Harris and Meringue on Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan.
on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, we are live down here, PDXYZ, down in Montgomery Park, 503-864-6326. You know, you say it so many times that you don't actually know the number. You just have to say it in its order.
It's hilarious. Somebody asked me what the text line was, and I was like,
Yeah. You got to go 503-864-6326.
Yeah, if I don't say it like that, it just doesn't register.
There's also the YouTube chat. You can watch us on location here at Montgomery Park. I love this. Mike Time writes in, I always thought Montgomery Park was a building that was abandoned or filled with homeless. Brother, right there with you.
I mean,
right there with you.
Look, this building was under construction until yesterday, which there is a curtain over here. Dusty said there's a hole in the floor. I
Do
thought,
not look behind the curtain. I can see the hole.
It's not like a little. I when he said a hole in the floor, I thought like maybe they like broke through the floor like to run some pipe or some electrical. No, there is a 10-foot by 10-foot hole that goes down to the next floor.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh. But they got this place all ready to go, and apparently Adidas was going to expand over here.
Yeah.
And I guess that's been put on pause for whatever reason. But
yeah. I'm going to hit the Adidas store after this, though.
I mean, I'm literally in head-to-toe Nike right now.
That's wonderful. I'm in probably head-to-toe Target right now.
Bro, I mean, socks and drawers, too. They're all...
You draws?
Undershirt. And everything is literally... Look, I have no... I'm a swoosh bag.
Yeah, are you? A swoosh bag?
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard that.
I worked at the employee store when I was younger.
Okay.
So, like, and you know, growing up in Beaverton, you know, it's in your backyard.
Sure.
But also, I just like Nike stuff better. Like, don't get me wrong, I've rocked some Adidas stuff. I wore Dame's. Actually, I wore D Rose's to play basketball for the longest of time, and then obviously he gets hurt, and they stopped doing that line.
Yeah.
The Dame 1, 2, and 3. I play basketball on those, but a lot of their stuff, I just not really my jam. But I do have some Adidas golf gear. They do make some golf gear that I like, but for the most part, like shoe-wise, I've just never been comfortable in Adidas. I've got big, long, skinny feet, and Nike always just seems to be better for me.
When I was a kid, when I was in middle school, I was really big into basketball player shoes. Mm-hmm. I had a pair of Scottie Pippens, the classic Air ones.
Oh, yeah.
I had a pair of those. I had a pair of KGs, and I had a pair of, do you remember the Gary Paytons that had the, like, buckle flap that went over the laces? Did you ever see that? And you could like tighten the flap. Did you ever see those shoes?
I'm trying to think. Which
So
ones?
it'd be like a tennis shoe, and then there was this flap that went over the laces and buckled in. Had a plastic buckle there.
Yeah.
I had those, and I loved those. But once I got older, my everyday walking shoes were Stan Smiths. I love Stan Smiths. They were my favorite brand.
Do you hate your feet?
No.
There's
my
nothing
feet hate
to
me.
those.
That's why I love them.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I got them flat feet.
Oh, yeah, because they're flat as a board.
Yep.
It's funny you bring that up. There's like a TikTok from like a podiatrist, and they were talking about like they went through like different shoe brands of like to walk or to run in. They're like Stan Smith, 0 out of 10.
Yeah, and I love them.
Because they are so flat. Because it's an OG shoe. Now, don't get me wrong. I had Stan Smiths when I was growing up. Are you kidding me? The look of that is classic. Like, I mean, we're all roughly the same age. Like, Shell Toes and Stan Smiths. Like, you had a pair of those.
Without a doubt.
Like, that was what you did.
First time I ever met my father-in-law, I was 17 years old, and I walked into his house, and he was like, what kind of shoes you got on there? I was like, these are Stan Smiths. They're my favorite shoe of all time. Do you know Stan Smith? He was a tennis player. He goes, yes, at Stanford. I played tennis with him. I was like, oh. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service,
Yeah,
sir.
he's a friend. Stan Smith is not Stan Smith to me. He's just Stan.
So think about all the brownie points I've got with my father-in-law, and he kind of likes me.
God, man, he must have hated you from the start. Goodness gracious.
I believe when my wife and I started dating again, the quote was, it better not be that Patrick Harris boy. Surprise! Surprise! All right, we are live here down at Montgomery Park for the PDXYZ, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. It's fun to do live radio on the spot. These poor souls out here eating lunch gotta listen to us idiots chat. But Danny, I gotta ask you this question. A story came out of New York the other day about a potential burner account from Eric Chavez, one of the Mets coaches. And I gotta ask, everybody wants to know, you got a burner account?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Not to like spy or anything?
Nope.
No, I'm not saying you'd have a burner account to prop yourself up.
No. I never have. I made a conscious decision. I was on Twitter like right when it came out with just a anonymous egg account, and I just used it to follow stuff.
Sure.
I never tweeted, and I made a conscious decision. When did I create my account? I think it was like February of 2011. Yeah, February 2011. I made an account with my name and my photo because I wanted anything I was going to put out there.
Put your name on it.
To put my name on it. This is what I believe. This is what I think. I don't want it to be misconstrued as anything other than that. Now, I had an alternate account later with Jack Ramsey's. I made an account for publishing that stuff, but I don't. The only thing I ever do is I cross-post. Like, I've got an app that I use that just pushes stuff to both accounts.
Yeah, I have an Instagram account, and then I ran Beers on Us account for a long time and would cross-post and cross-promotionalize. But I think everybody knew I ran that account.
But if I'm replying from the Jack Ramsey's account, I've accidentally logged into that account to reply because I usually like to log into my account and do any replies to that, just so you know it's me. Like, so I've never gone down that path. That's just, for whatever reason, my brain's like, if you're gonna say something, just say it. Whether it's dumb, great, anything. I never say anything great on there, but like, you know what I mean. Most stuff I say is dumb, but I always just wanted to put my name on it.
I think it's strange. I think it's very, very strange for adults in sports to have burner accounts. Like, look, Danny, I hate you, and I talk trash about you all the time. If you created a burner account to stick up for yourself, that would make sense.
Oh, God.
If you're a professional, you shouldn't do that.
I mean, I would, again, number one.
Also, I don't hate you.
No,
I love you.
No, I would never do that. I just tell look, I mean, I have said very profane things on Twitter to people who have come at me sideways, and I
see it live as your co-host now.
Brother,
I see it live.
I mean, I went at the Phoenix Suns broadcast team when I was on a lot of painkillers.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done it.
Shouldn't have done it.
But when he was like, "Oh, why'd you delete this?" I'm like, "I didn't delete it because I didn't believe it." I go, "I deleted it because it wasn't professional. I'm very high right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think you suck." Like, don't get it twisted. I will. That's the thing is, like, with good, bad, otherwise, when people say things on social media, I don't care in the sense of, like, say what you want, because I'm going to say what I want. And I've had, working on TV and radio, I've never had a talking to, because anytime I've ever, like, quote unquote crossed the line, I've been like, this is what they said, and this is what I said in response.
Yeah.
And I'll get a look of, probably shouldn't have done that, but nobody's ever been like, you can't do that. I'm like, you can't tell me I can't.
I'm my own boss.
Yeah,
I do what I want.
But yeah, when you're a professional athlete, Kevin Durant obviously is the one that comes to mind, because he was logged into the burn, or he thought he was logged into the burner, and he was logged into his account, which KD is infinitely online, and I respect that he didn't he kind of embraced it afterwards. Like, yeah, well, it is what it is.
Well, he also knew at that point that the jig was up, and he is the softest player in the league.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime a player says that they don't read social media, there's been maybe 2 players where that's absolutely true about. I've gotten texts from players from not things that I've said, but things that other people have said. They're like, what is this? What is this? Like, they are very aware.
Hey, man, take this job, for example. We're small potatoes in comparison, but the YouTube chat, the text line, there's some savage stuff that gets written in there, and you can talk to yourself all you want about, hey, don't let that get to you. Don't let that get to you. Blah, blah, blah. Don't let that get to you. And for the most part, it doesn't get to me. But I know it's there.
Oh, yeah.
I see it.
Look, man, I've had a couple of 100 comment Reddit threads from angry 17-year-olds. And people send it to me. I'm like, I know the kids hate me. I don't care. I keep failing upwards, and I keep getting paid. Be mad.
Yeah, dude, Darth Vader's one of the greatest characters in the history, and he a bad man.
Yeah, and so whatever. I'll keep cashing checks. Be mad.
Be mad.
But yeah, when you have it,
cash me outside, bro.
When you have it, and like, especially when you're talking about the one we're talking about in New York, when you're talking about, it's one thing if it's a player.
It's also baseball, bro.
But it's so much worse when you're in power.
Yeah.
When we saw this happen with Colangelo in Philadelphia and his wife on a burner account, talking about the collar, the size of the collar of his shirt. His collars aren't too big. Find a new slant, and it's like everybody finds out it's his wife, or the NBA ref, who was going in on a burner and backing up his own calls, and you can't do this, and I'm this, and it's like, yeah.
I think if anything, if you're going to do that, let's take the ref for example. If you're going to do that, just don't have your own Twitter account. No one would ever know it's you. They'd just be like, man, this guy's a Danny Meringue honk.
No, they like, you can find it in syntax, like how people talk. Yeah, like mine's very, very identifiable because I use a lot of M dashes and ellipses, and like I would have to be very. If I was going to make a burner, I would have to be very cognizant of syntax and how I talk. I would have to change a lot, and to me, that's just not worth doing.
I know. I can't. I use punctuation and I spell things out fully in every text message and anything I write, emails.
Yeah.
Anything. I chat with the YouTube kids all day, and everything is full sentences, grammatically correct, spelling, everything.
Very rarely do I use like shorter acronyms unless like a military type acronym.
I would have to be like fully undercase, run-on sentences, small words, just to make sure nobody found out. Speaking of trying to make sure nobody finds out, Mike Florio sniffing around a couple extra things in the NFL right now. Like we always say, that's not good news. We'll get to that next, and then we'll have closing arguments to wrap up the show. Once again, we're live here at Montgomery Park at the PDXYZ event, bridging the generational and equity gap in business. This is the firm of Harrison Meringue, and this is our great buddy Schultze with sports.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, week 1 of the NFL preseason getting going tonight. A 3-game slate. The Ravens hosting the Colts first off at 4 p.m. on NFL Network. You got the Eagles following up, taking on the Bengals at 4:30. And then most importantly, the Seahawks hosting the Las Vegas Raiders in a nightcap as Pete Carroll and Geno Smith return to Lumen Field for the first time as opponents. Rookie Jalen Milroe expected to get most of the time under center. Not going to see Sam Darnold, most likely anyways. Pre-game getting going over on 1080 AM at 5 p.m. Kickoff at 7 p.m. on the Fan Network and NFL Network on TV if you wanted to watch it. Vegas right now a 4.5-point favorite in baseball. The Mariners going for the series sweep this afternoon after beating the Chicago White Sox last night. 8-6 the final. Josh Naylor hitting another bomb. The Mariners, because of that win, only 2 games back of the Astros in first place for the AL West. It's a 1:10 first pitch on Root Sports. And your leader in the opening round so far of the FedEx Championship, still Akshay Bhatia at 8 under. Harry Hall and Justin Rosen second at 6 under. They're all off the course for their first round. Scotty Scheffler, the overall points leader, he's sitting at 2 under right now with the likes of Tommy Fleetwood, Jason Day, Justin Thomas, as well as a gaggle of others. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schultze from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Ducks Game Day. Before and after every Ducks football game this season. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Adam Schefter.
The Firm of Harris and Meringue on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, we are live here at Montgomery Park, PDXYZ. We are joined right now by Courtney Carter of the Seattle Sounders and the Seattle Reign FC. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I assume you live up north, but you're from here, correct?
This is correct. The I-5 corridor.
You just can't quit it.
I mean, it's been a while. Took me 23 years to come back, but, it's still there.
You're well traveled though. You did some work at CAA, at ESPN. Like, you have kind of run the coastal sides of these things and been in all arms of it, working on the TV side, the agency side, and now on the pro team side, which it feels like that has become the pathway to the pro team side, is coming over, quote unquote, from the dark side in a sense. Whereas for so long, you had to start with an organization at the bottom and work your way up, or there's the nepotism side of things. But it seems like so many more people are coming from other branches, sports adjacent, as opposed to just being team centric and then being a 40-year team lifer.
Yeah, I think my path has been very non-traditional. To your point, it is you start as an intern and then you just work your way up and you go through an organization. The crazy part is, I started my career, I guess. My first internship was at Oregon State at Learfield Sports Properties, right?
Yeah.
Like the organization that sells the sponsorships. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I did a little media with local Fox Sports Northwest, and I'm like, I kind of got the bug. I'm like, this is cool. But my first gig, actually, my second big internship was at the Garden. So with the Knicks and the Liberty and the Rangers, and I fell in love with New York City, and I was like, how do I get
who
back
doesn't
there? Right.
who doesn't
and
fall in love with that?
21, it was like, yeah. And so I immediately went to New York. I was there 11 years, and so that first 3-ish years was kind of a wild ride. That was the Steph years, Isaiah Thomas years, and I learned a lot, right? I learned a lot about team sport. I learned about the NHL and NBA and the WNBA, and I'm like, do I want to be in team sport? I don't know. And I think for me, it was, how do I learn about different things? How do I kind of sharpen my tools? And I not that I got bored. It was more so, how do I learn more and get challenged? Because I knew that I didn't know what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do so much.
Wait, at 21 you didn't know what you wanted to do?
I knew I wanted to be in sports and entertainment. Like, I knew that.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to be famous. That's what I want.
For me, it was like, all right, well, let's just show up with a curious spirit and with integrity and do excellent work and see what happens. And a friend recommended me to MLS, and I had an interview and went, well, I guess this is the next step, and I'm going to go to a league, right? I'm going to start working on the sport I love so much. I played soccer at Oregon State and locally here at Jesuit High School, and so to be a part of growing the game commercially in this country at a time, it was 2007.
When it was really starting to catch fire.
Correct. I started at the MLS and a larger company called Soccer United Marketing, which owned all the property rights to, like, we'd like to say, anytime a ball was kicked in a meaningful way. So if U.S. played, or if the Mexican national team, or if Barcelona came over, we owned and operated and sold it. And it was a couple months before the LA Galaxy signed David Beckham, right? And so, like,
probably the most pivotal moment in the history of the MLS.
Yes,
yeah,
100%,
absolutely,
yeah, until the Messi moment, right? And I think it was like, now marketers were like, what is this? And so I was literally on the road all the time, and I'd like to say, people are like, what do you do? I was like, I educate the commercial marketplace on the sport of soccer.
And seeing you come, you're talking about team sport and being how it was when you were working back at the Garden to where it is now. Obviously, that journey has been a huge change over the years, how team sports operate. Yeah. Do you find it different from sport to sport, or does the overall structure seem to kind of be a little linear across the board? Or is it like MLS is better than, so fill in the blank? Like, you don't have to call anybody out, but do you feel that MLS is a better spot, or just team in general is in a better spot?
I think working at a team is going to be the same no matter what league you're in. Team sport and working with a team is, long days, long nights, passion. You're creating this incredible experience for people to come and create core memories with each other. And so it's a passion job. It's not you're not getting options and major stock options, right? Like, it's not.
Do you want to see my paycheck?
Sure. Let's go there.
Why not? I'm always curious.
But and then the leagues, that's the same thing, right? You're just a little higher. You're looking more strategically. You're kind of more forward focused, and the teams are a part of that. But you're really more about whatever shield you're representing, right? And they are working in tandem to grow sport. And I think so. Like with women's sports right now, that's kind of a major moment where, and when I was at MLS in the early days, we were like, the MLS mark means a lot. I don't know if the local marks mean anything. And now it's like, wow, they both mean something, right? It's now the NBA league mark and the team mark means something. Same with MLS and MLS teams. And so in women's sport, we're starting to see the same thing happen, right? It's not just the NWSL or WNBA. It's the teams that go along with that have value, and people are super excited and passionate about their teams, which is super fun to be around.
Yeah, I think we see that in Portland, and you know that growing up, and I'm sure it's kind of weird for you coming into the Lions Den as a Sounders and Reign employee, but
bring it on.
But sometimes I think about this a lot as a footy head, as a football kid like myself who eats, sleeps, and breathes. I'm a Portland Timbers kid.
All right.
I watch a ton of EPL.
You okay sitting next to me?
I'm okay sitting next to you.
Don't get it twisted. He's bearing the lead. He's a Liverpool fan, and I'm an Everton fan.
Do you have a Liverpool tattoo like most Liverpool fans do?
No,
you're not really a fan.
See, I'm one of the people. No,
I like her already. She went to Jesuit, but I like her already.
No, I'm the real fan because I don't like it when we succeed. I'm used to us being really bad. I'm a Stevie G card-carrying member of the Slip Club that I'm like, that's the team I love.
Got it.
But I'm curious. What am I trying to say? Oh, I was getting at is I feel like we see that a lot down here. That the Timbers and the Thorns down here, I'm curious if it's like that in Seattle, are more than the MLS and the NWSL. It's more of a brand down here.
Right.
It's like, I feel, there are obviously the heads out there that watch every single MLS game, but I feel like a lot of our Timbers and Thorns fans root for that team
100%.
and then don't really follow the rest of the league. You find that in Seattle as well?
100%, yes.
Is that a bad thing? Is that something we should fix?
I don't think so. I mean, look, I want people to watch MLS all the time, right? The growth of the game helps everybody, including our own teams, right? But I think cities like Portland and Seattle have such a deep-rooted history in the game, unlike other American cities, maybe, right? We're 50 years, almost 51 years in Seattle with the Sounders and the Reign, one of the original NWSL teams, right? And so, and the Thorns. And so the one thing I love about the Pacific Northwest and the Cascadia rivalry, right, is we actually have rivalry.
Actually a rivalry, and especially in the NWSL, we have national team players.
I mean, major players. Always have, always will. We just brought over Mia Fischel. We've got Lynn Biondolo. We've got an incredible. 4 weeks ago, when it was the international break, on the Reign side, we have a very diverse roster from different countries, right? 15 of our players got called up.
That's awesome.
It was incredible. We almost couldn't field a team to play a game, right? So
I wish the Timbers ran into that problem.
So, it's an incredible moment in time. And actually, the Reign and the Thorns play this Sunday here in Portland.
I watched it on TV.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I did.
No, we have a new
Yeah, I'm going
game.
to.
Oh, you are?
That's what I said.
No,
Is that not what I said?
You said watch.
I said
You're going to watch.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I feel like I just keep calling them out.
No.
This
is perfect.
Welcome to 3 hours of my life.
Anytime you want to come on, please.
Welcome to 3 hours of my life every day.
If you ever need a job partner, I'm here.
No, I'm 100%. This is great. You kidding me?
Can I go home early? You guys finish this?
She's killing it. We're here with Courtney Carter, the Chief Revenue Officer for the Sounders and the Reign. Chief Revenue Officer, I cover the Portland Trailblazers. That's kind of my thing that I focus on, and one of the things that I'm very interested in is where the current CBA is and like where things are at. And the Portland Trailblazers, they just drafted Young Hansen, who, I don't know if you know this, China has a lot of people, a lot of fans. They had over 5 million fans tune in for a summer league game.
Sure.
There's 650 million diehard NBA fans in China. When you look at the landscape of sports right now and how global it's kind of going, how do you kind of wrap your hands around that from the not just a revenue generation, but like a holistic monetary philosophy of like, not forgetting what you're in Seattle or Portland, whatever market you're in, but also knowing that you have a much larger reach now. Like in Portland locally, the Thorns are the most attended women's sports team on the planet. Like that's something you can really go. That's a global thing, right? So how do you look at this landscape now and continue to drive that?
Well, first of all, to the NBA, I mean, they've very intentionally and strategically, since Yao Ming, right, invested in China. And so there's a lot of investment, a lot of intention that goes behind building fandom in international markets. And so, hats off to Adam Silver and David Stern for making that something that was necessary. You're seeing that with the NFL, right? These international games that they're playing to grow the game. You reach a capacity in your country and you got nowhere else to go. I think the interesting thing about soccer is it's already saturated globally, and we're building it here, right? So it's a really interesting point you bring up, because we in Seattle, right? The Sounders are the most winningest. We have the most points in MLS since we joined in 2009. We've are the only MLS team to qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup that just happened. We hosted PSG and Atletico Madrid and Botafogo and Inter Milan, and it was incredible, right? And so when we welcome the world to our city to show them what we're about, we want them to be us to be their MLS team.
Yeah,
right. So we have very ambitious global brand goals. Because you can have, I always ask, like, okay, who's your EPL team? Oh, wait, who's your MLS team, right? Soccer is very much league dependent, right?
Time zone dependent, like, hey,
continent
watch
dependent.
when you watch.
Also style.
Sure.
Big time style. Like I can't watch Serie A because it drives me absolutely bonkers.
Fair.
And I love the EPL because it's so physical.
It's so intense.
So
so fast. It's so and so I also we look at time zone, right, and hemisphere. So we're obviously going to double down on Central, South America, Brazil. We have a major following in Brazil. So much, we have Argentinian players, we have Brazilian players, and a huge Spanish-speaking audience. So for us, we're being very intentional about growing that audience. We just launched this incredible fan club called Vamos, which serves content and information only in Spanish.
Let's go.
And
awesome.
We've only had it open for a couple weeks, and in association with the Leagues Cup, which as of last night we clinched. We're number 1 in the standings. Super exciting.
You do realize where you are, right?
I do. And I do realize last night was a very unfortunate result for the Timbers.
Like
I'm sorry.
That's some real rough
I know.
action.
I love you, Heather Davis.
I watched
I'm so sorry.
I watched that game last night. Is that better?
I just like just coming down here peacocking a little bit.
I know you do.
Here's the deal. I will always say, look. I always say I was at the league when the Timbers launched. I'm an original Timbers season ticket holder. I can say that. I'm on the wall in there. And I will always hold a special place in my heart. Portland will, right? Soccer City, USA. Because it bred me, right? Whether that was Larry Lindland, my first really intense, knowledgeable soccer coach, or Steve Fenna at Jesuit and Chile, and then of course Clive. So it's a pretty special place. Players that came out of this region and are continuing to come out of this region.
And you get to represent it too.
Say that again?
You get to represent it too on the large side.
I do.
Don't forget you're a player too.
100%. Always have been, always will be. Maybe a little slower. Haven't been on the pitch in a minute. I'm worried about my Achilles. Come on,
Dude, were you just listening to us?
We were literally just talking about this.
That too.
I've 100% given up basketball. I'm golf only. I will not touch it.
If you are over the age of 35 and a sports fan, we are all now very concerned about our Achilles. More so than we ever were.
Can I also tell you, you remind me so much of a dear friend of mine named Andrew West.
You know how many people say that?
Do you know Andrew West?
No, I don't. Not about Andrew, but you remind me of somebody who I kind of like but have known forever. Is that Andrew? Kind of like him but known him forever?
No, love him, known him forever.
Hey! See, there you go. That's why she's giving you crap. It works.
Courtney Carter joins us. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Of course.
PDXYZ is here.
It's incredible, by the way. PDXYZ is incredible.
This
is my first time down here.
No, this is our second year here, and it's delivered. The last 2 years. It's been awesome.
I mean, last night to share the couch with Heather Davis and Aaron Dangerfield, Aaron from the the Warriors and the Valkyries, and obviously Heather running the Timbers was pretty incredible.
You guys get in a fight?
Yeah, we have a nice frenemy relationship.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck for your time here. Enjoy your time at home for a little bit before you head back to your normal home.
Thank you, and best of luck to your teams.
There you
Thank
go.
you. That was very nice.
Thank you.
And go Sounders, go Rangers.
Yeah, same to you, same to you. All right, we got to get out of here. We come back, we'll wrap this bad boy up. This is the Firm of Harrison Meringue on 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Easy Play, brought to you by Home Z, making home improvement easy.
And here goes another one. Josh Naylor bombs away. Take cover.
That was Josh Naylor's 14th bomb, second as a Seattle Mariner at T-Mobile Park in the 8-6 win over the terrible Chicago White Sox. Mariners now just 2 games back in the AL West of the Astros, and they would make the wild card if the playoffs started today. This Easy Play brought to you by Home Z. Use Home Z's online calendar to estimate your project instantly. Make it easy. Call Home Z. That's HOMZE, homez.com.
We just finished our roof and siding with HomeZ. I got a clear itemized estimate from their team. Their certified installers are real pros. It was exactly how home improvement should be.
For a stronger, better-looking home, visit homez.com. Make it easy. Call HomeZ. CCB number 239804.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year.
Up for the day.
You want answers?
Which means it's time for the closing arguments.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
On the Fan Sports Network.
You can't handle the truth!
105.1 and 1080, The Fan.
All right, that'll do it for us here at PDXYZ down at Montgomery Park. Huge shout out to Courtney Carter. That was an awesome moment with her.
Yeah, no, she's cool as hell.
And Boss was great as well.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had a really nice time down here. Want to give some shout outs to Jake here, who sets up the YouTube and kind of our overall troubleshooter guy. Josh was down here, our engineer. Thanks for help with that setup. Thanks to everybody at PDXYZ for all the hard work you do. This is a really, really cool event. And also a shout out to my producer for the day, Jordan Schultz, for doing the heavy work. with almost no communication
Your
between us.
producer for the day. Okay.
It's mine.
Fine.
Do I have to remind you?
No, okay.
Do I have to remind you?
Meow.
So that'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll overreact to some preseason games, and we'll get into some Mike Florio talk, finally, some grilled cheese action. It'll be a great day to wrap up the week. So again, thank you to everyone here at PDXYZ, and we will see you tomorrow for Danny Meringue, Schultze in the booth, Jake, Josh, Fan Man, Dusty. I'm Patrick Harris. Go do something I would do.
Bye.
Hey, it's Suk, and everyone's always asking me what makes advanced hair restoration different from all the others. Well, allow me to share some details, plus tell you about their once-a-year summer savings event. First off, Advanced Hair stands by the